So what you gonna do when the one-man wrecking crew steps up? I'm energized and never ready. I rock the beat hard, got a blast for the petty. If you're ready though, you can come and enter the stage and feel the raw wrath and the pleasures of the rage. The rampage, my people, will not be televised. Front if you want, kid, but always recognize. I up and rise, my movement's generation. The penetration, soul sensation. Born to live, that life divine. Yo, I pass to my people, all sip the wine. Cause time is short, the style gets hard. Representing to the wave, rough, rugged, and star. Worldwide, worldwide. So everybody, come on. So everybody, come on. Feel on the rapture, let the haze catch ya. The props, the love, and the gains is what I'm after. The rapper, beating down rappers, running whack. See the four letters, feel the pure record child. The profile, the cream rocks on again. It's all hot here, so go tell your friend. So he can tell his man and they won't pretend. Cause the burn's so real that they all attend. My MC soul, they break for front row. Got the line now, let's for the Players Club. Guaranteeing old wins like Broadway Joe. And if you ain't heard, act like you know. Rather, beast from the east is coming for a piece of pie. I'm in that freak mode, so it's time to do or die. So you know why, the dope got your mind high. You gotta stay fly, with you come about to get by. So everybody come on. So everybody come on. Analyze me, I paralyze you. So what you gonna do when the one-man wrecking crew steps up? I'm energized and never ready. I rock the beat hard, got a blast for the petty. If you're ready though, you can come and enter the stage and feel the raw wrath and the pleasures of the rage. The rampage, my people, will not be televised. Front if you want, kid, but always recognize. I up and rise, my movement's generation. The penetration, soul sensation. Born to live, that life divine. Yo, I pass through my people, all sip the wine. Cause time is short, the style gets hard. Representing to the wave, rough, rugged, and star. Worldwide, worldwide. So everybody come on. So everybody come on. So everybody come on. So everybody come on.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the SDC Finals. Season 23 is very nearly over, but of course, we still have one more weekend of jam-packed action for you all. And to bring you this momentous final, it is me. I am Rue. Hello. How are we all doing? Alan's here as well, filling in for draft. Colonel's running a tad bit late, but we are going to be ready when game one comes.
Hello,
but before then, of course, we have to work out what's going on in the draft. And as such, here it comes. Alan, how do you feel about finals already? It's come around quick.
Yeah, I'm not sure you tuned in last week, but these two teams are definitely undisputed, really our two best teams coming in. You know, Luggáge coming back from a 3-1 deficit, very dominant for the second day. And Real Terminators, I don't think they ever gone to Game 7. They wiped out their last two opponents in 6. And I think these are very two evenly matched teams. I like the way their rosters are set up. I like their damage portfolio for both teams across the board. I think we're in for a good series here.
Yeah, something I am a little bit worried about as we head into the series is the perks and maybe the lack thereof that we get on these two sides. We can see it's not really close, right?
No.
Real Terminators, they racked up so many points throughout the regular season that it's not happy viewing if you're a Luggage fan, but two vanillas can really nullify quite a lot of that, right? And I wouldn't be surprised if the Real Terminators kind of turn away from their own vanillas as a result, but that's the strategy of the rest of the series. Let's focus on strategy of game one, first of all, because that is right now what is most important for these two teams. We have a Gragas Lucian Nami taken by the Real Terminators, matched up against a Seraphine Nocturne with no Ashe following on 3. Instead, is this Seraphine APC? Violet, what are we cooking here?
Yeah, I mean, Violet is Well, first of all, she was role locked out of her primary roles. I believe she's a bot laner now, but she definitely has Seraphine in her back pocket. I think that's one of her favorite champions, and it's a good champion to take away from Winkin too. Winkin is a Seraphine player, so you can kind of see the identity of these two teams, Lost Zero and Winkin. Not sure you know Rue, but they're dating, so the Lucian Milo combination is a reflection of how they work together as a team. And Gragas, I think that's gonna be a Gragas. What do you think? Jungle? I think that looks like a jungle or top. I'm not too sure.
I mean, I haven't seen Gragas in the jungle for a while. I'll be
Mhm.
perfectly honest. I'm a bit jaded from being in EU that when I see Gragas, I think top lane.
Okay, there we go.
But
Hey, Colonel.
welcome, Colonel. Welcome in. Uh, yeah, I think I don't know. This is a lot more down to like player pools and what they feel comfortable on. If Yemeni really fancy the Gragas, then I guess he can go nuts. But been a while since I've seen one there. As we head into our second rotation, we got a Yasuo and a Silas band away from the red side here, and then Urgot and Nasus, a little bit of protection perhaps
Yeah.
for the top side, as it's going to be a Victor taken on 4. They want to make sure they know where this Gragas is going before they end up
That's a
potentially blinding their top lane.
Yeah, that's a safe pick because you're up against Shisa, the captain of the Real Terminators. But also he's a captain on the Rift. He's, I think, in my opinion, the best mid laner this season in terms of performance. So he's definitely gonna have to. They don't want to give him any early advantage by picking a bad matchup. So I think Victor's a 50-50 overall, no matter what you line him up against. At the minimum, is what I
Terminators
mean.
choosing a Mundo on 4, Irelia on 5.
Ooh, I like that.
I can only assume that Irelia is there to destroy this Victor. That seems like it would be
Hmm.
quite fun to do time and time again for Shisen. Mundo Gragas, I mean, we talked about this before. I would hesitate to say double flexible. I think Mundo more likely to head to the jungle than the big man in the top lane. But honestly, who knows, right? That
Right.
it's a very flexible draft that Turbanator's got for themselves here. As into our final pick, we go timing out on the Renekton there for the luggage. They've drafted themselves a very solid team fight comp with some great flank potential as well, great pick potential if they can get onto this solution. But I don't really feel the value in something like a Renekton, right? In the
Right.
lane, if you're up against the Gragas, then he can body bump you away whenever you go for an engage of your own. If you're up against the Mundo, then he doesn't care when you've gone for an engage of your own. Come those late game team fights, congratulations, you got onto the back line. Oh wait, Melio has his ultimate. I don't get this R5 pick. Can you convince me?
No, it's. I think this is a draft favoring the real Terminators for sure. They have a lot of mobility just through the virtue of Irelia and Lucian, right? So Seraphine's gonna have her work cut out for her trying to land like an ideal ultimate. And if they can pinch on, if they take out Victor immediately, then I think their team fight is not existent. Same thing with Nocturne. I think Nocturne has to have like a very clean angle to come in, else he's gonna be dead on arrival because it's very hard to lock down a champion. Like if you're going in right, and then Lucian and Gragas, I feel like can completely negate him as he comes in. But we'll see. I'm not.
I think there's a lot of issues with
Yeah.
this red side draft where I'm sat, right? We've got a Braum with no ADC. That I see as an issue in those late game team fights. How are you going to stack up those concussive blows if you don't have someone to hit those rapid fire auto attacks? How are you going to guarantee yourself a chance in those late game team fights up against a Mundo who's going to be tanky as hell, up against a Gragas who can potentially go that way too? Irelia, surprisingly tanky if they can stack up their queue. How do you guarantee yourself these like mid to late game team fights will go in your favor? I don't personally see it with what they've drafted here. Luggage, it feels like they're forced into trying to win some lanes that I'm not all too convinced on either, right? Lucian Melio, a great combo. Seraphine Braum, going to be fine resisting for a long time, able to get wave clear out absolutely fine, but I'm not convinced about the rest of it. The Irelia into the Victor sounds quite nasty from where I'm sat, and then Gragas into Renekton seems quite nullifying. If anything, perhaps Gragas favored. I'm quite scared for the Luggage in game 1 here.
Hmm. Yeah. I mean, they're already down 30 points as well, so maybe this is like something comfort just to gauge the temperature. But this is you would have to feel like this is a must-win for Real Terminators to set the tone, right? You're already playing your two best players, Shisen and Lost Zero, so this is very critical in the terms of the long run.
Well, see if the real Terminators can take this one. I'm personally favouring them after this draft. We'll have to see, though, how they can convert it in game one. We're back after a short little break when game one's ready. Don't go anywhere.
right now on Rally House Station, listening Monaco 1990 by Marxo.
All right, I'm muted now.
SDC season 23 finals here for a fun one. The 1 seed versus the 8 seed, according to Alan, has never happened before in the SDC, at least in a 1 second of thinking knowledge check, but definitely going to be in here for a fun one. Game 1, I don't know, I made it to the second half of the draft through, and this is something.
Yeah, don't know what just happened there in front of our eyes as well, but that was also something, I'm sure.
Big combo.
Not even gonna try and understand that one. Just like I can't understand this red side draft. The more I look at it, the more it makes even less sense. It's there to confound me, and I'm not sure it's there for anything else right now. We're seeing the early bullying of Agragas up against a Renekton, right? The buddy bump, so OP, especially in these early trades. Nothing really that Frischke can do. As he gets later on, definitely gonna have some timing to have some kill threat, but it's mainly gonna be down to when Lugger doesn't have his E to just disengage for free every time. The rest of the map, honestly, not looking much better, right? Early push going the Lucian Meteor's way, as we'd expect. The ability to have those more powerful auto attacks, helping push that wave in. And then mid lane, the fact that it's already in the Aurelia's favor at level 2 scares me.
And yeah, I mean, I definitely think that's something we expect from Shishin, right? He's the captain of the team, led it all the way up to that top seed, obviously winning that the tiebreaker, but very well-respected player here, 32 points in the mid lane. Obviously, ODG by no means slacking, 21 himself, but still has that advantage and obviously got to pick this counter pick matchup, so definitely had a little bit of confidence in being able to play it, but we'll see here for the moment. Lost Zero diving back in alongside Winkin. Obviously, that Lucian Milio expecting to have a lot of prio in this lane, especially against that Seraphine, which I don't even hate just to see the passive lane taken here because I want to make sure not to go down again. Lost Zero and Winkin worth 50 points total, and while Violet, of course, is high appointed, B-Hat only worth 4, so definitely have to be a little bit careful not to overextend and make any simple mistakes and give Lost Zero a ton of free kills. So don't hate going for this passive lane here, as it will be another play for Shishin, barely dodging out the tower there, but able to get another trade off, burn some Victor mana here as they will retreat. Another trade going in. Does have the Ignite, could go for this, but does back away. The W poke here going to land a little bit more. Again, Q auto Ignite should kill that Victor, but is just going to be the recall for Odolet here. Does have teleport if they need to use it as well, so we'll just see both mid laners recall. Shishin with no teleport definitely wants to get his off while he can.
Yeah, and that's exactly the power of this Aurelia, right? You can get that early push, you can get the early trades going in your favor. Not quite enough for a killer to get down to bot.
Ooh, very close, but Violet gets out with the flash.
Oh my
No!
god.
Lost Zero flashes in for the play. B-Hat, exhaust comes down. He gets to the trade at the very least on Lucian, but I honestly think Lost Zero is
I'm calling
probably pretty
Worth.
fine with that. Yeah, I mean, they get the kill on their AD carry. It's first blood of the game as well. You trade one flash and one heal for two flashes and an exhaust, and then the kill goes over to Braum. It doesn't even go to the Seraphine, so I think they're definitely going to be pretty happy with that play there for the Lucian, get his Caulfields online, whereas the opposition here, Violet and B-Hat, they really don't get anything on this buy. They get some tier 1 components, of course. Tier is nice to start stacking now, but I think that's definitely value for the Lucian here.
Yeah, I mean the small positive from that is that Violet did have TP, so they're able to get back down to the lane, salvage it somewhat. But that now is all four summoners, right? You can kind of include the TP as part of that trade. So now it's the flash and the heal for all four summoners in the bot lane. And while Violet's able to grab a little more CS as a result of it, it's not really enough to counteract what just happened. Though this might be.
Yeah, just keeping the trades out here again. Violet and B-Hat not too interested in fighting. Obviously, they'll take their little poke, especially with Lego coming in here.
Hello?
Zero gets the stun. Flash Q comes in. They're just targeting this Lucian here. Don't hate it by Lucian. Just goes in to make sure Milio gets out safely. It's nice flash there from Luger, able to take down Mr. Frishy in the top lane. Solo Bolo for the Bomba Gragas is nicely done there. Down CS, but should have a little bit of time to try and make up for it, especially since this is Ignite Renekton here, down 0-1 now at heading toward the 5th minute, so he can't teleport to this lane. If Gragas is able to shove it, he's going to lose quite a bit of gold here, but doesn't look to be the play. I think Gragas trying to maybe move it toward his own tower, maybe get a freeze online, but we'll wait and see here once we see the exact wave state in a few minutes here, but for the moment, not going to be too big of a problem. First Dragon coming online here as well, but doesn't look like either jungler necessarily in a rush to start it up right now.
Yeah, no reason to stress on these Drakes, right? From the Nocturne's point of view, still level 4, no flash, can't really be pushing the advantages. Back to mid we go.
As yeah, there's going to be a combo here. ODG drops the ultimate down, but only keeps him even in the trade, so definitely not the worst play of all time for the Irelia here, as it will be another Victor recall here for Odalet. We'll see some question pings come out here. Not too sure what Shishin wants to do with that mid wave here, but we'll wait and see as the bot lane in a little bit of danger with Yemeni in the area. B-Hat walking forward here, has Violet to jump back to, but we'll see if Yemeni could get here in time to slow that. Braum here gets the slow, so Root's trying to come out. B-Hat half HP, doesn't have flash to work with. Shield down, jump down, LZ another kill, and they will be able to take this kill on this front. Nicely done there for them here, as again, B-Hat goes down, second kill for the Lucian, and they are in a really nice spot right now. One kill for Seraphine, one kill for Braum, with those two deaths on the Lucian, of course, but definitely pretty happy here to have that extra few hundred gold on Lucian from those two kills, and they get the dragon for it.
Oh, absolutely. Zero making up for the overextension before, gets the gank this time from his jungler coming through. Yemeni able to assist, and now, I mean, they could look once more on this bot lane. That is way too far forward from Violet.
Yeah, I mean, you just get chunked down to a third HP. That's feels bad for the Seraphine, but it is a Seraphine, so can maybe try and heal themselves up. Maybe this fruit can get taken in a little bit, but we'll have to wait and see. Isn't it? It's just going to be the
Or you can
recall
take a
here
base.
for Seraphine. Yeah, fair enough. I mean, you're just so low. Why not? Might miss a wave, but better than dying. Maybe.
Yeah, I mean, you know that Lost Zero and Winkin are going to need a base relatively soon, right? You see their mana, you know, you're probably not going to lose all too much. Looks like Bat's going to be able to catch the wave as well, so most of it is minimalized, if not completely ignored. So it could be a lot worse for the bot lane here, but just another rough trade taken there. As Lost Zero making up for, as we said, that early aggression, getting that double kill over the course of the game so far, putting himself in a great position. That is a beautiful bomber back. Oh my god, Frishy's being dogged right now by Luga.
Yeah, we'll see it here. The Renekton just going to be trying to play down some damage, but as we'll see, here comes Yemeni. Luger in a bit of danger here, but the dashes in, takes that body slam, tries to get out here. Is Frishy trying to hold on here, but Yemeni keeping the damage up here, trying to move over to this passive stack, but unfortunately, Frishy doesn't seem to have too much of a way out here. The auto's coming down the cleaver. Yemeni doesn't even want to go for it, just walks forward, takes that briefcase slam, has the HP to tank a tower shot or two. Why waste it on it? Why risk missing the Q and not getting the kill? So fair play there from the Mundo. This Lego Alien lurking mid here, does have ultimate as well, so could obviously ult in if something starts somewhere near, but nothing gonna happen, so he's gonna get back onto the camp clear. They do ping him out as he breaks that scryer, so they know this Nocturne gonna be on his red buff. Yemeni here clearing his top side as well. We'll probably see both of them make an effort to move around here. Krugs and Wolves both up for the Nocturne, bot side and Wolves up for the Mundo, so definitely nice for the Mundo here. He's up 12 CS already and has a few extra camps up right now, but we'll wait and see if he is able to snowball that as Lost Zero, another trade onto Violet. B-Hat able to end up tanking the majority of it, keep the trade decent as they do hit Winkin a little bit more, break that bone plating as well in case they can get another trade off relatively soon. But Grubs are alive, both junglers here thinking about moving to their bottom side camps here. Mundo already there. Nocturne looks to be committing down as well, but he does actually take the turn over toward mid lane. Could be looking Grubs. Here we go.
Ulting.
Nocturne ulting mid, bot lane fighting as well here, as we'll see. Irelia get back to tower here, drops the ult down, gonna try and fight it with Yemeni here. Shishin under half HP, but ODG
Yikes.
a little bit worse for wear here, gets the kill there. Lego Alien now trying to get away, has some more dashes to try and get ready here with the E, but
Nice
we'll see
stun.
Yemeni going in, gets it nicely done there. Really good by that
Solo
mid
top lane.
dive. B-Hat dives down bot side as well. It's a solo in top lane, and it is almost a sporadic team kill. Look at the right side of the screen. Look at how close that is to a full team kill here. Absolutely insane. They almost got an ace at 9 minutes. Luger gets the 1v1 top lane. Yemeni and Shishin go flawless in their 2v2 mid lane. And Lost Zero and Winkin kill B-Hat and get Violet 1 HP. Has to recall TP. Absolutely insane here. But at the end of the day, right, you look back at the score sheet. Kind of what we expected, right? 122 points for Turbinators up against that 89-point Luggage roster. They have nice advantages. They are, again, the 1 seed versus the 8 seed, which again, Luggage has proven isn't necessarily the most fitting title for them here, but definitely still worth keeping in mind. They were in those tiebreakers to even qualify for the playoffs, and now while it's off to a rough game 1 start, we think back to what we saw on stream last week, and maybe losing game 1 isn't the worst of all time for Luggage, as again, they were down 3-1 in that series, but we'll have to wait and see if they are able to make something magical happen again later in the series. But for now, it's Lost Zero and Winkin taking complete control over this bot lane here. As another fight mid lane for Shishin, trying to get out of this W of Victor, but just pops the
Oh
W
my
himself.
god.
With the dash there, ODG didn't walk backwards fully. He took a sidestep there, and whether or not it mattered does go down as Luger trying to hold this Renekton off. The ultimate should run out pretty soon here, Luger thinks. Combo tries to hold down, just waiting for Yemeni at this point, trying to keep Frishy off the tower. Flash backwards E, and Yemeni will be able to walk in for the kill. Paranoia comes down though, trying to pick up the Gragas. Level up though. Luger gets the level up. The passive able to heal him up a little bit, but can Yemeni get the kill? Did Gragas stall long enough for this Mundo to do the damage he needs to do with that cleaver missing?
no.
Maybe not, but he's committing. That is Mundo, and as we say, he goes where he pleases. Gets the kill. The tower.
No.
Oh, doesn't get it. Yemeni lives with a shred of HP, shoves the wave in. Nicely done there. And look at Odalet here. Really rough game for him so far. Down 30 CS, 0-2 against the 3-0 Irelia here. Really, really rough one for him. But again, it's going rough in most places of the map, so can't necessarily blame him specifically. Obviously, everywhere has been losing out. Culling comes down. B-Hat, Violet, both going to get tagged heavily as if Flash Autos trying to get the charm here. But the instant breath of life, not well done by Winkin. Able to keep that Lucian at the right HP here. Obviously not going to die too much anyways, as we'll see Shishin another attempt here. He's already preset though, so can't commit to ODG quite yet here, as B-Hat has to be careful of a dive here, but he does have Nocturne moving to help try and prevent it.
Yeah, I think it's a good bait opportunity here for B-Hat. Lego Alien in the air, but no paranoia. Just going to send them scrambling instead. Should be able to get another plate. And if he walks up like that, then maybe he dies anyway, because you're not allowed to walk up like that. That was a little bit much.
Yeah, I mean, you just can't do that. I don't know. As we'll see Luger, another combo here onto Frishy. Just a little bit of damage, but at the end of the day, it's 10 KP Gragas, so not really that big of a concern to take some trades here for fun. You got your passive to work with as well, as we'll see mid lane. ODG getting pressured a little bit back under tower, but the damage trade does end up favoring him here. But again, look at some of these items here already getting forced up. Irelia, first item done, full boots completed here. Definitely could be an absolute nightmare to deal with for a little bit of a game here, as we'll see now. Continued pressure here on to the ODG. Violet as well getting targeted, gets stunned and killed. Shishin, 4th of the game for them, 14th for the team here. And again, with a 5.5k gold lead at 12 minutes, I definitely think that we are not going to be in for a super long one here to start off our grand finals, but I guess anything can still always happen.
I'm glad you're optimistic. And I don't think there's much else to say. This is roughly what we expected coming out of
Yeah,
draft. Because
yeah.
Luca may have bitten off a little more than he could chew finally. The Nocturne there with the Brawl finally to stack up a passive, and oh wait, he doesn't care.
Yeah, Lego Alien gets the third grub at the very least, so it's not a complete loss of the objective, but they did still lose the objective by all means. 6k gold out now. As we'll see the mid tower looking to get targeted by Shishin, but ODG there in time. Yemeni and Lucian
No,
here
don't
trying to
do
dive
this. This
on
is mean.
Violet, culling in, and we do get the kill there. Nicely done by them. Yemeni picks up the tag as Shishin just fighting inside the
This is it.
1 million, trying to help as much as they can. Breath of Life comes out, trying to turn on to ODG the shields. As here we
I
go.
think
Irelia
no, he
unfortunately
didn't.
gets
Okay.
the lead out there as we have a bit of lag on our end, unfortunately, in the middle of that. But Lego Alien does end up getting the flea, I believe, on Irelia. The stuns came through as they do get it. ODG, though, not in a perfect situation right now, but he does sidestep the kick as we'll see B-Hat. He's getting hit.
Yeah, he's getting
Tank versus
absolutely
tank.
run
He's
over.
gonna die, though. No, he has to jump away to a minion. Does Yemeni die?
The maximum dosage. He's
Yemeni's dead. Alright. That's one of the fights of all time. B-Hat, ODG live in another day as they take down the mid and jungle for their first deaths of the game, and the gold lead isn't as bad as it was. It's still 5 point, almost 5k, but definitely get a couple hundred back there. They just need to do that like 6 more times, and then it'll be an
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that sounds great on paper, but then you remember that the shutdown also went over to the
Sorry,
Braum.
yeah, they need to do it maybe 12 more times for the shutdowns.
Yeah,
To
and
even it out.
like, when the shutdown goes over to the Braum, it suddenly doesn't even matter that you got that goal back, right? Because now maybe he's equalized with Medio, if that.
Alright, 14
It's
times
just,
not to the Brom, take it or leave it.
oh, I don't know. This
They need
is,
to int 28 more deaths for it to be value.
yeah. I don't understand this
Rishi,
draft.
he's
I'm
trying.
sorry, I don't get
Rishi
it.
is trying. Yeah,
He's
I think
trying,
it's,
but you chose this. Like this is not a counter pick in terms of the Gragas is countering the Renekton. Even though that's what happening in front of our screens. That's not the order of these picks at all. This is a Gragas on B1, and the Renekton knows that he's up against a Gragas. Right? At least he knows that he could be up against Gragas. Like, it could be Mundo, it could be Gragas, right? The double flexible. Like, maybe that's what's done it here for the Real Turbinators, why they're in such a strong position. But Luggage should have known that this was going to be the matchup that they took in the top side. And with how it's panned out so far, I just don't know if they just misread how it was going to go, misread who was playing what and where, but this does not look pretty at all right now. So we're going to get another engage on mid. The Glacial Fissure going just wide, though, as Losser able to escape once more. Has his flash now back off cooldown, too, so he can go even more aggressive if he wants to.
And yeah, we'll see Violet ODG here trying to hold down the mid, try to farm up these waves, get a little bit more gold. B-Hat moving over, but Lucian
Stop
almost
thinking about
gets it
flashing to
there.
being more aggressive. Jesus
Red?
Christ.
Well, the red buff
Straight away.
Violet down, but not quite. But I mean, again, this is a rough game state. I know there was a game last week. I don't remember which team it was. I know we got a pretty early FF in one of the games last week. Yeah, but hopefully don't get that again. I don't know. It's always possible. It's the SGC, man. They can do whatever they want. But we'll wait and see if that does end up becoming a plague we face once again as Frishy. Moving on in, Yemeni unfortunately waiting. Nocturne nearby is Yemeni. I'm not necessarily sure that he cares that Nocturne is here. He thinks about it for a second, but then realizes it doesn't matter. Irelia is here as well. Renekton should die. It will be the charm
Hold
here onto
on.
Irelia, though. They have a chance
This is
to get
deep.
kills. It will be Renekton for Irelia 1-for-1. Obviously, the 4-1 a little bit more impactful than the 0-4, but 1-for-1 here. The gold goes over. Nicely done here. Able to get that trap in there. Blue jungle, Herald down bot lane should get that objective bounty, 3 plates, and that tower. So definitely not a bad bit of a gold swing here, as we'll try and knock up Yemeni with it. As can we make sure to break that passive field is what happened for Odalet Gun to get here at this HP versus a Gragas there at that HP is the real question. Body Slam Q will kill, but
Slow.
yeah, he's just gonna spam all the buttons here. I don't know how ODG ever gets out of this, but we'll wish him the best. Unfortunately, a nice roll there from Mr. Luggáge is going to be enough for that. B-Hat diving in here, trying to focus out of this Lost Zero combo. Cullen comes in from the side, and he is dead. No, nice ult. He is dead, though, unfortunately. Lasted a second longer than I thought he would, as Wow,
Oh
that's a
no.
long stun line. Jesus, is Violet unfortunately going to be picked up? Paranoia comes down. Unfortunately, I think Nocturne's the only one paranoid in this one as he goes for nothing. As we'll see Gragas holding down top lane once again. Frishy has returned ultimate almost back up here, but we'll see what Lego Alien wants to do in the area. I don't think you can dive this guy, so I hope
Not
that's
without
not what they're
paranoia.
thinking about. Yeah, I hope they're not thinking about diving him because that won't go well, but we'll wait and see exactly what they're planning here.
And they
They're
didn't even
planning
get
a
the turret in
recall.
bot either, by the way. The Herald
Oh,
crashed, but it didn't even get the turret. It's still
unfortunate.
waiting there.
So they
I
couldn't get a
didn't
turret
quite do
for
enough.
objective
So
gold, and they're still down 7k. Is Frishy
bomba.
Bomba in nice stun there. I thought he'd get the extra tower shot. He didn't, as they have a chance to kill him now if he doesn't have that body slam back to safety out of the flea here. Stuns him back into the queue here, trying to use his
Lego's
tower
gone.
damage to work as much as he can.
Oh, what a
Nocturne
flash.
barely lives. Frishy does not
Ugh.
take the extra tower shot. Nicely done there. Well done on the dive. Went dangerous. They both got 1 HP, but timed it right, got the right timer on some of those key cooldowns like body slam being down as they get the kill there. The game becomes slightly less miserable, only 6k now, but again, slightly less is unfortunately not the same as a good game state. As we'll see Lenny here trying to chase down B07. Yeah, he's hitting him.
Yeah, I mean, bot side as well. She said, oh my god, Odlet got blown up.
Yeah, I mean, there's really this isn't a hype fight. They're just walking at them. This Yemen, that gameplay right there from Yemeni is what he's been doing for the last 20 minutes, just standing there. The dude's just right clicking and goes AFK. But it's Mundo, man. That's what he does. It's what he's done since. When did Mundo Jungle really start popping off? Was it the Worlds where he got
Pretty
played,
recent.
Like, he went 5-5 at Worlds? Was it? I think last Worlds.
Yeah, it was kind of September time where it was like popping up a little bit
Yeah.
in those tier 1 regions, and then obviously good enough to take it in a game 5 when you've never played it before. So good enough for anyone, right?
Owner and Keria are to me the two champions of playing whatever they want and ruining solo queue forever because of it.
To be fair, the Mundo, like, that's not even like that
Mundo's
bad
yeah,
of a
Mundo's
ruining.
simple, yeah.
Like
Keria
it
is
was
obviously
just
the
that
king
good, and
of
it
that
still is.
crown.
Yeah. Yeah, you're not taking that crown off of Carry. How many elite supports have we seen in the stupid amount of time since?
Oh, I remember back right after some of those big series in that last World run of theirs. I want to say he played like a Varus Hail of Blades game or something, and I got 3 Varus Hail of Blades, all different people in my Norms games back to back to back, and I was just like, dude, I'm so tired of this already. It was something that they morph solo queue, man. They're good at
You
it because
know what I'm tired of in this
yeah.
game is Luggage. I'd be tired of pressing tab and looking at that Lucian.
Mm-hmm.
That does not look fun.
It doesn't.
Lost Zero, he's just going to running. What can Odlet do?
He just tanks the stun. He just tanks the stun because it doesn't matter. He's gonna kill him. No, he's gonna get the kill and live. He doesn't get the kill. Okay, ODG able to backstep away. He does have to run, unfortunately. It's not like he forces Lucian out of the fight. He forces him off his towers. We'll wait and see.
What was that?
That's I'm trying to
That
read
was
the
one auto.
HP bar. That looked like 600 damage. 600 damage.
Why the Seraphine's building support after Blackfire Torch? What are we doing here? How do you kill a Mundo with support Seraphine, a Renekton that's like 2 items behind, and a Nocturne? It's not enough.
As we'll see, Law Zero getting ran at. Surely the 4 players who are here will be able to kill him. As we'll see, Lego Alien, he's gonna die. That's my prediction. He's gonna get ran at. No, Irelia though doesn't want to take the fight under tower. The tower's not really
5v5ing under a tier 2 top.
now. Yeah, they're gonna get the one. They're gonna get Frishy, I assume. There we go. Get the 2. So we'll see them take the tower down here. I just expect them at this point to like ignore everything and run straight to the back line. But they do play the fight correctly at the very least. Play it front to back. Kill the people who are easier to kill instead of the hardest target first. But
That's only because of the turret.
Yeah. But they're up 10k. I'm surprised we haven't seen the FF at this point, truthfully.
Yeah,
I mean,
this was lost in draft, right? Like, we talked about it before. Like, there's no reason not to talk about it again because that's what's really dictating this game, right? The 33 points, it matters. Don't get us wrong, but it's not what's changed this game, right? What's changed this game is how these 2 teams were drafted, and the fact that we are counterpicking into a Mundo and a Gragas with Renekton. I cannot understand that at all here. Frishy, he's not played badly on the Renekton, but it's just not the champion for the job right now. Taking an APC and building its support, also not going to be the tools that you need to get through a team as tanky as you're up against, right? You got Wits End Irelia at 22 minutes with the Blade of the Ruin King. The double AP threat is nowhere near enough to get through this champion. Shisen is going to be absolutely insane for the rest of this game. The Gragas in the top lane, he bought the Winter's Approach all at once. Didn't even buy the tier beforehand. Slowly stacking up into a Fimbulwinter. He doesn't care at all. And the Mundo is a Mundo.
Yeah. They're just gonna die here, is my guess. Look at the Lucian.
They did
Flashes
kill
on
the
Violet.
Gragas.
Three autos just killed the Seraphine from full HP.
Okay,
Oh my
okay, but have you
gosh.
considered they killed the Gragas?
I hadn't. They got him. Bomba down, Luga down. Ah, I thought.
Now, would you like to take the base, or would you like to take your Cloud Soul at 23
I
minutes?
want Dragon. I'm going Dragon here. I don't even want the inhib. I want the Dragon. Is
I
what
think-
I was thinking.
I think you can just take. I think you can just take it. That was a surrender vote that failed.
Dragon the Cloud Soul to the base. You know, that's where I'm at mentally. As we get GG's. Wait a second, don't end from Odalet. We make a comeback. Lost 0 with an okay here. You see the surrender vote there. Failed 2-2. Lego Alien says, y'all not ending is crazy, which I can't agree with. Not ending is crazy, but they want to play it safe and they want to play it smart. And for a team in the SDC finals, I respect it. They take the tier 2 bot, probably.
The medium split pushing.
Maybe, as he is Redactin's scared of him, is what's happening. Redactin's scared of him. But they get the Cloud Soul. That bot tier 1 or bot tier 2 is at a shred of HP. One auto kills it as Frishy has to double dash to try and get away from Yemeni, who will happily settle for a Gromp here, as Frishy unfortunately still walking up too far. And is that lethal? Does he die to this? That's how, I mean, look at the tower. Yemeni finally realizes the tower's HP. There we go, 150 plus. But, I mean, you look back at it, right? 919, Mundo's died the one time where him and Irelia both basically killed themselves for fun. 8-8 for Irelia in the same.
Speaking of which.
8 for Irelia, maybe. Can he handle it? 1v3.
Tether.
Violet coming in, trying to get something on the Irelia. Dash. Trying to stay on their feet. Shishan triple stun, but not going to be enough here, as it will be the kill. 8-3
Version
on
top
Irelia
lane.
here, as Luger and Frishy are fighting. And top lane is dead. They're dead is what's happening here. Culling comes down. It will be the Seraphine ult, but it's stepped aside as Lucian gonna focus on ODG. There goes him. Violet now goes down. B had just started a recall in that bush.
I don't even blame him. He did everything he could have done in that fight. He hit Winter's Bite on the Lucian, and then he was a frontline for a bit.
GG, and Luger is just backdooring. Oh, GG's, man, GG's. We'll see what they do. They could go. Could they go Baron? What could they go? They could go their blue buff. That's what they could do. I think they go their blue buff here, but we'll see. Odalet says, "Wait, one more respawn. We got the mid laner killed. You have to give us another chance, Yemeni. Don't do it." As we'll see, Amelia says, bet. ODG tells them they're cringe for ending in the grand finals. Let us alive, as it does look like they'll just end the game here. Probably somebody in VC calling out, let them spawn. But Yemeni just right-clicks Nexus, walks away from the computer. XD, good luck next one, heart, GG. And ODG says, yeah, you just lost. So maybe calling out another luggage comeback similar to what we saw in the semifinal back then. But we'll have to wait and see. Game 1 does not, unfortunately, go to Odalet and his side of Panda Boy's luggage. It goes over to Shishen and the Turbinators for game number 1. No perks used, a lot of perks on the table here, but that's one of the other things we didn't really talk about. Did you guys talk about the perks at all in that first draft?
A little bit. We pointed out how
absolute
scary
mess.
it was seeing
yeah,
the whole thing filled up compared to like 2 boxes.
So yeah, for anyone who doesn't know, the luggage have 3 perks. They have a vanilla, and a Haida player. The
Which, to be fair, in a
the
series like this, hold on, sorry, 2 vanillas actually matters in a series like this.
Yes. Turbinators have vanilla, Haida player, wheel ban summoner spell behind enemy lines, mute deafen, 2+1 add ban, steal ban, and roll change. So they have a couple more perks in their hand. Obviously the wheel can't be used for anything, it just gives them some other shenanigans, but we'll wait and see here. Maybe we get a vanilla game 2, maybe we get perks game 2, maybe we get another boring game 2, as actually already the luggage have used a vanilla in game number 2 here. Obviously don't expect the Turbinators probably to use their vanilla
time approaches.
I don't feel at all.
Like this, biatch.
Tori on the beat. Tori on the beat.
I feel the bass line. Tell me how you wanna ride inside. X amount of vibe. X amount of vibe beside the ride. I feel the bass line. Tell me how you wanna ride inside. X amount of vibe. X amount of vibe beside the ride. X amount of vibe beside the ride. I feel the bass line. Tell me how you wanna ride inside. X amount of vibe. X amount of vibe beside the ride. I feel the bass line. Tell me how you wanna ride inside. X amount of vibe. X amount of vibe beside the ride. I feel the bass line. Tell me how you wanna ride inside. X amount of vibe.
Welcome back, everyone, to Game 2's draft. Just getting into things here. See some picks already coming through, as well as that vanilla that we talk about before the break. Luggage popping that one early as they hop over to the blue side as well. Take away the Hui on B1. Bit more of a stable pick for Nico here, just gonna guarantee himself a very strong mage as the game gets later. Responded to here by Turbanators with a Zeri Zarhen locking in the Z champions, but not Z himself, though of course where you're from, it's called Z, and it makes no sense to me. As we get a Yoni too? Ooh, maybe too far.
Yeah, the Z composition over here. I have to stay away from saying Z now that you've said that. As we'll see, Wei and Yone picked up here. I mean, this is something. Truthfully, I mean, this is already a really odd draft here for both sides. I personally, I haven't seen too incredibly much of Zahen. Obviously, makes his appearances. I know where he can go. I know what he does. All the fun, lovely stuff like that. But haven't really seen that much of him, especially in SDC, as we'll get Aatrox picked up on the 3 here for the side of Panda's crew on the luggage. As, again, in terms of rosters here, very high point for the luggage here. They're sending out Nico and Violet, both of their tier 1s. They're sending out Panda, Kazi, 2 of their 3 tier 2s, and then Lego Alien coming in, a 10-point jungle support tier 4. So definitely interesting. The only person that isn't the most expensive is Frishy is on the bench in that 5th tier 2 slot instead of Lego Alien or under Lego Alien here. But we'll see in the draft here continuing forward along. It's Lissandra picked up here. So realistically, okay, sorry, I just thought about this for Panda. Where are these characters going? Aatrox top, Yon mid, Hui bot. Is that what's happening?
Aatrox jungle's a thing as well. Bear that in mind. Aatrox jungle has risen quite a lot in prior, especially around the tier 1 scene. I'm not sure how acquainted Panda Boy is, but that's where my mind instantly goes. I think that, I mean, if Nico's comfortable on Hui, then I wouldn't take it away from him, no matter what is into him. I don't think Lissandra's even all too oppressive. Yeah, I respect that Yubi ban, by the way. That is a good Yubi ban. You don't let Lost Zero have any chance of running over the game. We just saw him basically do that on the Lucian. Giving him the power of 2 champions in 1, not happening. I understand that one entirely.
Yeah, we'll see the bans here. Nautilus, obviously the Yumi picked up. Vi, current hover, gets locked in. As again, we'll see exactly what characters we're still missing here. Luggage, Panda Boy's side, Mids. Bot lane, really, I guess they just need bot lane, right? I guess Violet's a bit of a mage player, which is why I think my brain wants this way to be bot. It just thinks that that's correct here, and I want then, I guess, just Yon mid, Aatrox top, so we're picking up a jungler and a support still, but obviously, that seems to be what they're thinking with the Vi Nautilus. Fiora, the other ban here. As for the side of the Turbanators, they did win game 1. Obviously, Lissandra and Zeri are going to PR and lost 0 in the mid and bottom lane. Zahen, my assumption would be going to Hashem, since that Fiora ban, obviously I'll trust their scouting a little bit over mine, but especially if Olaf gets locked in, I think top jungle are very interchangeable, but it wouldn't surprise me maybe if Captain Rex is on that Olaf instead here, but obviously matchup's dependent, they're going to try and change it around to exactly what they want to have going on here is worth noting. We'll have to wait and see here. If they really wanted to, they could technically get some really big rotations going around on the roster. I assume they won't want to, but Captain Rex's ult role is jungle. He could go to jungle, Hashem to mid, Pure could go to bot, and Lost Zero could go to top. So they could do a 4-player role shuffle, but unlikely that that will happen. But Karma's in South going to be the ending lock-ins here for the side of the luggage. We'll wait and see what the 10th pick is.
Yeah, I'm not sure that I believe in this one. I understand that Violet likes playing his mages, but there's a reason why people play ADCs, right? They are good from start to finish, right? The early game weaknesses are nowhere near as bad as they once were, and the late game strengths are about as good as they ever have been, especially with, of course, role quests being what they are. When you empower them with an Enchanter, as we are in the Enchanter meta, then it gets even more oppressive. Picking a Karma, very solid in terms of Enchanter that doesn't necessarily need an ADC next to her. Very good for poke early on, very good for shielding as the game progresses. So, I mean, if you're going to pick any Enchanter to go with a mage, Karma's definitely up there, but I think Zeri Lulu sounds so incredibly oppressive. I think the only way this feels worse right now, if I'm Luggage, is that's the Yadara Lulu. because that feels a whole lot worse. You have indexed a lot into AD on the top side. I feel like Plated Steel Cap's kind of going to run you out the Rift for quite a while. I think that's a very easy first build there for both the Olaf and the Zahen. I mean, beyond that, it's still fine for the Luggage, right? They have fine late game potential. The Rage of the Quay come late game, very annoying. You have a Xin with an Enchanter, very annoying. Aatrox in the top lane, he's going to be pretty stable, but can be threatened if he's on the weak side. But your Yone is where your main scaling is coming through, and also the fact that your Yone is probably Nico helps with that main late game scaling. So some win cons they can play around here, but I think Turbinators, they're having a great time right now just drafting some pretty default drafts, right? You take AD in bot, you take an Enchanter support to boost up your AD, you get some bruisery things in the top side, and you get a mage mid and see what happens. I think another solid one here from Real Turbinators. They look to try and take this one here into 2-0 territory. And if they do that when down 21 points against a vanilla, I'm struggling to see a way back in the series already for the Luggage.
And yeah, we'll wait and see here. I do agree if Luggage lose this game, it is going to be a rough spot. Obviously, Lost Zero will have played 2 games, and you'll have the game on Shishin, so it is still going to be for the 3 Tier 1 games. But once you played a game of Nico, you played 2 games of Violet, you're obviously throwing out a lot of other high point games here, right? You're seeing Panda Boy and Kazi make their first game, which again, it's game 2, that's fine, right? Obviously, in general terms, but losing games on 4 of your best 5 players here, obviously last game already lost the one on Violet, Frishy, and then ODG, obviously that top tier 2 option, top tier 3 option, but we'll wait and see here on exactly what is going to happen here. It is still a 21 point guide here. Kazi leads by 16 top lane. Jungle is going to be dead even here, 28 points to 28. Nico up by 13, and then in the bot lane it is going to be an 8 point lead for that side of the Turbinators. Again, Lost Zero, Winkin, very, very common bot lane, very solid together, but we'll wait and see how they're going to do here. We'll send things over to a break. We'll let them get through the game and the spec delay. We'll be back about 4 to 5 minutes with our second game of the Grand Finals. back here. Good to go. Game number 2 in on the USDC Season 23 Grand Finals. The 1 seed Turbinators currently hold the lead on the day and the weekend here, 1-0 up. The 8th seed, they've battled their way through the quarters and the semis here to the Grands. First time again, the 1 and 8 seed, we believe, ever. And we'll see if the 8 seed can make something happen to even the series up here. They have a nice point advantage, and then the compositions are something here. Aatrox, Xin, Yon, Hui, and Karma up against the Olaf, Zahen, Lissandra, Zeri, Lulu here. But we'll wait and see here. Violet going to try and start things off on the Hui, able to keep slow and steady, keep Lost Zero and Winkin slowly chipped down while staying healthy. I was, again, definitely interested to see here. Lost Zero Violet. Game 1 went to the ADC, not the Mage, so we'll wait and see if Game 2 flips over to the Mage. They have some other key advantages. Nico, obviously, being in a roster is always going to help that roster do a little bit better, we hope, so we'll have to wait and see for the moment. But we'll get another trade here. Level 2 pressure. Violet, nice damage onto Lost Zero, half HP, but we'll be able to trade it out. Has, obviously, the level up HP, so we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, it's aggressive to still be that far forward when level 2's not going in your favor, right? We could see that 2 minions away there for Lost Zero. So a little bit aggressive, but ends up working out okay. The trade still relatively negative, but Violet has used a ton of mana to get it into that point. So overall, absolutely playable for this bot side. As you'd expect, right? Zeri Lulu has the sustain with just shields alone to really get through the early levels against someone with as much poke as something like the Hui and the Karma. So they're doing absolutely fine. As we look around the rest of the map, we're getting a topside invade onto the Xin Zhao. Panda Boy getting pushed out of his own jungle here. Hashim's already taken his blue buff, pushing him further back, and he doesn't even realize.
Yeah, he does get to the blast cone though, so he's able to get out, fortunately for him. Does use the flash, obviously, but definitely could have been a little bit worse, as we'll see Lego Alien here taking a good bit of damage. LZ keeping the fight up. Flea comes down, looking to keep
Hello.
it in trade, but minion
Pretty
waves
fair.
are going to force them to safety here. LZ and Winkin, a little bit of self-shielding coming down. Winkin takes a little bit of real damage. The combo comes down, and the Lost Zero passive proc will hit as well, as Kazi and Rex here keeping the pressure up. Panda Boy trying to find something here, but getting pressured off pretty heavily, as we'll see Kazi and Rex here back onto the trading in the top lane, back down bot. Panda Boy, unfortunately, getting forced off quite a decent bit here by Hashem. Didn't finish his full camp, so he's only level 3 here, and while obviously Hashem, obviously on that red or that boss side blue jungle invade, isn't done with his clear either. He will get the scuttle and head back to his top side, so definitely in a little bit of a better spot here, but we'll see if the crab goes down or where the Xin Zhao is directly wanting to go here. Looking mid right now toward Baby in the mid lane here, as we'll wait and see it's Pior there. As we'll see how they will do in terms of trying to stay alive here, as the Xin Zhao will come steal the rafters, maybe then move to Scuttle, Gromp, and down, but obviously that pathing is going to be up to Panda on exactly where he wants to go, as Zero and Winkin here are taking a bit of a beating. Karma Hui here, obviously some nice long-range poke, especially before items start to roll in for this Zeri, as we'll see the reset, or the back cancel there on the side of Olaf, nicely done by Kazi, as again, CS relatively even everywhere. Top dead even. Zahen up a camp right now. Yon going to be about dead even with Lissandra. Hui, though, up a wave on this Zeri. That's the one notable difference right now, is we do get the teleporting mids coming out here, as Rex could be in a bit of danger here. We'll see.
Rex should be in a lot of danger here.
Yeah,
Great
so we
flash,
can get
though.
Kazi out. That's really nice. Kazi will be able to stay alive, as Rex, the Ignite's going to take him down a good bit, but he's going to stay on his feet here. Well done.
Wow. Yeah, and while this is happening, look at what Hashem's managed to get already. He's managed to get opposite side Raptors looking to go aggressive on the bot play as well, but Lost Zero ran out of mana. That should put the play already in the rearview mirror, but invading on the Raptors, very nice there for Shem. Getting even more advantage. Just has to be careful. Nico looking for the roam time and not quite able to get down there in time to stop something like that base. It's the Baby looking to make the play into Nico now.
And yeah, we'll see if PR can get something here. Obviously, for the moment, just trying to farm up, get the CS is going to be the main goal. But Nico trading in Q3W, auto Q, gets rooted, takes the E back for that finishing poke damage and a safe escape. As Lissandra clears out the wave here, we'll be down 1 CS, down 4 after Yone clears the rest, assuming he makes no error. As we'll see Kazi here back in the top side, down 2 CS right now, is getting forced under his tower with a wave of 7 crashing in here. So definitely has some time to turn the CS advantage on its head here. As we'll see what he can pick up here, focusing a lot on Captain Rex. So obviously not going to be his biggest priority, but ult comes down. Rex isn't 6 yet. He's trying to get it off this. Here we go. As we do get the 6, misses the axe though. As we'll see, Rex could pop the ultimate here. Does go ahead for it. As we'll see him continue to try and fight this, but he just doesn't have the HP compared to the Aatrox, so it's going to be the first blood solo bolo. King Kazi takes down Captain Rex here, and again, the most notable point disparity here, it's a 16-point gap in favor of that Aatrox, so definitely interesting to see that that's where the first crucial error comes in from the side of the Turbinators, as we'll wait and see. Obviously, plenty of time left in the game. The gold lead just a little bit in favor of Aatrox there, so again, nothing too serious as Nico forces the flash of Pure here. Nice safety move there. Could have ulted maybe. No, he doesn't have mana to ult himself there, so he's going to have to burn that flash. But at the end of the day, not the biggest problem of all time. Just definitely could become annoying for a couple of minutes here, but we'll see Lego Alien try to help out here with Violet helping on this next wave. They have the invading Xinzao as well, trying to get back at Hashem for everything he's stolen, as Nico takes a few tower shots there, presumably on accident. As the teleport from Lissandra comes back, he'll have to recall himself.
Yeah, Captain Rex actually getting kind of destroyed right now by the Aatrox in this lane. Not looking like a fun time at all for this side. He's looking to just take another death here. He's baiting for Hashem, but it feels like it's maybe too much of a bait.
Yeah, he gets the kill here, but now the question is, can Hashem do anything about it? He's level 5, so if he messes up, this Aatrox could be in for a triple kill in terms of the recent lane phase. W comes down, Zehen has no flash to
What
work
was the
with, so
idea
this could
here?
be a kill here, as I don't think, yeah, the flash is still on cooldown, so it's going to be a double kill, essentially, for Aatrox. Count that last one. All 3 kills are solo bolos for King Kazi, and he is in a position to be the king maker this game here, as we'll wait and see how he does in the mid game. But Violet gonna get engaged on here. Ult comes down, last 0, gonna connect onto him and Winkin, as we'll see that back up there. Zeri is out of mana here still, so definitely struggling out a little bit here, but not gonna be too big of a problem, as Lulu does get a nice trade onto them. But look at that, the mana for them. Last 0 and Winkin can barely cast 2 spells among them, as we'll see Lego Alien willing to just walk up, throw the Mantra Q, because why not? It's so hard for last 0 and Winkin to fight them with their current mana situation. Root
Rooted.
comes down, it's going to be a flash out of the next root. Still is going to get the follow, so the QW Severing Bolt still connects for the way, but definitely could have been a little bit worse. But you're not thrilled about
Oh
losing
my
the
god.
flash, as Captain Rex gets chunked down. And look at the items here, right? It's Tunneler, Caulfield's, a little bit of resistance is up against a Vamp Scepter.
It's also the XP.
And yeah, this is really
It's level
gonna be
6
rough
versus
for-
level 8. Kazi's absolutely
wow.
running the lane right now, and he has Ignite as
Yeah.
well. Captain Rex has to respect this so much right now. The anti-heal to kind of mitigate that Vamp Scepter, as well as, of course, that kill threat that you have when you have Ignite. King Kazi's absolutely dominating over the Olaf right now. It feels like Nico doing a great job mid, making sure his lane is, as you would expect the Nico lane to be, very solid indeed. And then bot lane was kind of the only point where I thought maybe there's a chance, if I'm honest, for this red side draft. But right now, it feels like Turbinators are just having 3 losing lanes, and it's going to probably end up in the losing game, because that's
Wow.
disgusting on top side.
A 4th solo kill for Kazi, the 4th kill of the game, is another thing I do want to note here. It's obviously a very common factor of mage bot lanes, but something that doesn't get thought about potentially too often, just in terms of nobody playing mage bot lanes. But the teleport there gets so much value. You teleport, you could recall, buy, heal, while the other 2 are both low mana, they're both low HP, they have to take a reset, but you teleport back, you pressure that tower. I believe it got Violet, it looks like 3 tower plates, and I think 2 minion
So you
waves
can't
ahead,
walk up when
so
you don't have a
really nice.
armor.
But yeah, we have flash. Can we do something? No, we can't. I mean, yeah, that's just potentially all of the value we got from that gone. I mean, we are up 30 CS, to be clear. Again, those waves are really helping Violet out in terms of trying to stay ahead here. The 1 kill, not the worst thing in the world, but
But it's
definitely felt
unnecessary.
like it was unneeded. Yeah, definitely
Yeah.
need to be there. I mean, I don't know. There's just no, you don't need that word there. Truly, you don't need it quite yet. But we'll wait and see here. Lost 0 and Winkin exactly how much they can get. This wave will get picked up largely by Lego Alien, of course, as he actually is pressuring the HP bars, but he's taking a bigger trade
much.
now. It's just not. Yeah, it's just not great by Lego Alien there. Unfortunately, I'm not sure. Just thought he could do more. Thought he was tankier. Not too sure. Regardless, but ends up not working, as it will be Pure getting traded on. Q3W auto Q. Bit of a classic Yon combo there. Get the tempo, getting the damage out as Lego Alien gets the tag here onto LZ and Winkin here.
Agreed.
As we'll see them back up here. I mean, yeah, you have this ward on the back, so that ward is at least helping a little bit. Obviously, it cost Violet their life originally, but at least they're getting something with it, as we'll see the Severing Bolt land on Lost Zero. That's a nice find there, as Lost Zero really lethal, killable now, as we'll wait and see. 1 CC and a QW is going to be the death of this Zeri without Lulu support, so we'll wait and see here. But Captain Rex here, oh, is he just dead again? Is this a full kill on him? Is he just dead?
Yeah, well, I'm surprised he even let himself get pulled back with the W. Should have gone Ragnarok earlier there, and he's just going to die because of it. Flashing away, but he's already ignited. One more bit of damage. The minion under the tower. He dragged the minion, so King Kazi was able to get the kill easier.
Yeah, definitely helps. Obviously, I think he's getting the kill regardless there, but definitely keeps his HP bar in a tip-top shape here. We'll be able to pressure the tower here. Obviously, as his fake TP with the lane quest here is Lysandra goes for combo there. Could have maybe tried to like an ego ult maybe on the Yone, but doesn't necessarily guarantee a kill and doesn't want to burn the ult so close to the dragon fight for something that, again, doesn't necessarily guarantee value. But Xin Zhao, nice smite by Panda Boy. Yone gonna miss the ult as well here. Nico trying to hold on, trying to farm up some lethal tempo. Get ready on the stacks here, as it will be Violet coming over the wall. Panda Boy has to flash out. Nico Q3 comes down from the backside. Here we go. The Aatrox. He's been a terrorist the whole game here. We'll see if he can reign true here. Pure taken down, fighting in the pit now. It's gonna be.
He's really low still.
Available. King Kazi has to dash over the walls ahead, has to back away for the moment here. Lost Zero doesn't necessarily want to dash over that wall into Aatrox melee range, so we'll see the retreat here, but they get a lot there. It's not a bad play there from the side.
That's a huge play.
That's really nice for them, yeah.
Yeah, from where the game was to where it is now, I mean, you didn't get the Drake. That was what the whole play was intended to do, right? Hashem was absolute full send with that Grim Deliverance. It doesn't quite work out from that perspective, but in every other metric, that was a huge play for the real Turbinators, right? They're able to stabilize whatever else was happening on the map. That was a 5 versus 4 that they end up picking up more kills than their opposition in. And out of all of that, King Kazi uses once in every 7 minutes TP, and Captain Rex finally has a little bit of time alone in the side lane to try and work his way back into this game ever so slowly. It's still going to take a while. That is by no means the end of his struggles, but now he has played to steel caps. Now he had a little bit of time alone, get a bit of CS, get a bit more experience in his favor, and maybe he can come back into the game a little bit, right? It's still by no means a good lane state for this Olaf, who is about to lose his turret. So still sucks, but it could be worse.
Yeah, it'll be the Olaf here. That's it. He's here.
He's stat checking him when he's down 3 levels.
And like 2,000 gold. As
I mean, yeah, like,
yeah.
What are we doing?
It's another one for him. Could get the respawn, actually. Here we go. This could be interesting. Can he kill him twice? That's the real question. He kills him once. I don't think he can kill him twice, but we'll see. We'll see if he can. He misses the Q1.
He's in the turret for the second one.
There we go. Yeah, that's nice. There we go. You're only 0-5 top lane. It could be worse. You're out farming the supports.
That's good.
It is.
Good
It'd be
Hello?
really
Oh my god.
wasn't, is LZ going in, calling it here. Ult comes down, and there goes Violet. And again, a mobile mage here, not able to get too much. Ult comes down.
Yeah, but your mid lane is in bot. You can't be walking into your topside jungle.
Is Lego Alien dead here? Can Pure catch him? I think it's definitely possible to get good damage.
It's slow.
I'm not sure about lethal here. As again, nice move by Karma. We'll see Captain Rex. He's once again. I only have one word to say for it, and he is here. He most certainly.
Oh, you got a shield.
He's got Bowling, actually. He's got bowling.
Hold on.
Zeri. Didn't get the W. What?
Wow,
that minion needed Panda Boy to kill the wave to get more under tower.
This is the Violet now.
Teleports in. Is Violet dead on teleport? Is this a Hashinshin TP 14 minutes into the game? Almost. Not quite, though. We'll see Hashim moving on over here. Going to try and set something up. Does pass a pink ward, so they're just going to get the hell out of there as they have no interest in taking this fight. It appears Karma, Lysandra both recall bot. Yone, though, look at the mid-tier 2 tower here. He's starting to pressure this pretty heavily. Gets that first plate already, as we'll see some items picked up here. Karma able to pick up their Moonstone. We'll also see the blue ward swapped over for the Lysandra here. Blue wards for a few players now, as obviously we start to move into that mid game here. Some of the players wanting to upgrade their trinkets on over to this bonus vision length. As we'll wait and see it here. Hashem holding on to some camps. It'll be Pure moving back to that bot lane to try and clean up some minions. As Panda Boy back on the clear, and Captain Rex, once again, he is present. He is in his lane, and he is most certainly trying. I fully believe that. As we'll see him try and run away here. Panda Boy, can he catch him? Can Aatrox catch him? He will be able to get out of the W here. I believe the Ruin King for Yone, as that's the most interesting thing happening at this moment in time. Is it's another one added to the pile of Mr. Rex. As Violet now will get the wave. The ult gonna get the wave. There's a lot of damage there on LZ. Suppose you have the AP at this point that it is gonna start to chunk once you get things stacked up like that, but not lethal for LZ. Severing Bolt though could certainly look for lethal as the healing gonna come down from that redemption, but we'll wait and see here. Winkin hit by the bolt there, a little bit more damage. Lego Alien comes in to help support. Storm Razor on the Zeri, going into a slingshot item next as well. We'll wait and see exactly what that is later, but Herald gonna get picked up by Panda Boy here as well.
I'm imagining that's just going to be a Rune Hurricane. Right, no, it can't be. It's Slingshot. What are we doing? Are we out here to confuse people? Consider me confused. Is that Hurricane? Am I nuts? Am I going crazy? Hold on,
It could be.
I gotta check myself now. Talk. I'm checking my sanity.
Well, so Sketch Slingshot goes into Rapid Fire, Runins,
Okay, thank God.
And Fiend Hunter Bolt. Sorry, I still don't know these new season items, the full build packs at the very least, but Fiend Hunter as well. I don't think it's Fiend Hunter Bolts. It definitely, I guess it could be.
It's
maybe.
Runins.
But yeah,
It's got to be Runins. It's Zeri.
Go into that other options there at the very least. As we'll see Nico here trying to hold on, coming down. Hashem gonna get pressure out of this own jungle here, as we'll wait and see for this exact moment which direction we are gonna go. As QW lands down, Winkin taking a bit more damage. Violet definitely moving into a decent damage era of this mid game, as we'll see the combo come out. Violet trying to engage, and that unfortunately
Ouch.
for Violet is the end. You may have damage, but you kind of got to be alive to do it. Got to be able to move. So we'll see the play here. Herald comes down bot lane. They're going to take the tier 2 here. Quadruple recall comes out. As what does the Herald do now? Could get into it, maybe try and crash the mid tier 2, but obviously not necessarily the worst to just let it go for the tier 3 crash, but looks like Pure is going to catch it before then, and they are going to be able to pick up the kill. As long as they kill it here, as there they go, they get it. I think the Hashem probably, hopefully waiting with a smite there in case they need it, as we'll see Hashem waits, dashes over the wall here, trying to make that clear just a little bit quicker, as we'll see for now. Nico moving on to get to this top wave, where he will find Captain Rex there, as we'll see if Captain Rex can do anything about it. My guess is no, but obviously we'll wait and see. Definitely a rough game for the top laner here, as Hashem going to have to try and peel away from the Aatrox, as unfortunately I believe Yone has found Olaf, and I believe Captain Rex is going to escape actually because of the Yone E-Anchor, forcing him to go back. Obviously Nico not necessarily in a rush to fight Olaf inside of Ragnarok. He only has the Rav Hydra, but it's not necessarily that far of a gap between the two of them, except for
Only
the
one
CS.
item each.
He is up 80 CS, but obviously if he hasn't spent all that gold and capitalized fully, not going to matter too much. Does have the item advantage, of course, up 2 levels as well, but not lethal on that trade either. Captain Rex lives another day, and he remains here for just a little bit longer. 1 in 6 right now, but not going to die here. As we'll see Nico work on the Krugs, then he'll head back to the top tier 2 once his wave has arrived. As Pior looking for something, but not going to find too much.
Yeah, this is kind of the issue I see a lot of time when you see mage mid, is that it's very difficult to contest for this early game to mid game prior, right? Late game, your wave clear is always going to be fine, but it's actually you being able to contest the prior with the rest of your team sometimes is a little bit tricky. See another example of it here, where the Zeri Lulu just able to push out whenever they want, and now they can rotate around to the top side of the map as well. Nico in a 1v2, but he's getting TP help courtesy of King Kazi.
And yeah, if Nico can stall for Kazi, this is going to be an absolute slaughterhouse here of the Turbinators here. There we go. It should just all die out. Maybe they can get Nico. Maybe. But doesn't even look likely. And they're losing in the mid lane as well here, as Lost Zero should die out to this ultimate. Is able to take down Zinzai. We'll see if Lost Zero can tank it, as you will indeed. Nice Lulu support. Olaf goes down, though, as Panda Boy and Nico, or rather King Kazi and Nico, do pick up their 2v2, and in the mid lane goes 1 for 1, it looks like there.
1 for 0, I think, mid lane.
There.
It was a 3v2. Zeri Lulu survived.
Killed all 3, right?
It was a 3v2 and top, and all 3 died. That was the issue, right? The top play was just doomed from the beginning, right? As soon as that TP comes in from King Kazi, you almost have to find a way to call it off, but just in too deep at that point, didn't have a chance. Instead, the mid play was way stronger, and they're going again. I mean, this area is quite scary, I'll be honest.
Winkin is officially dead to the Aatrox.
Yes.
The question is, What is the Zeri game plan here as Hashim and Nico going to find each other just outside of this tower? Teleport comes in, and it's now Nico going to be the one in danger. Gets rooted out here. He actually ult over to the red buff, but he saw that root. He's going to combo on. Nice move. Really nicely found there by Nico. Gets that Q3 over the wall. Gets the Q3 off the red buff to go back over the Krug wall. And that is
Beautiful.
beautiful. Yeah, really nicely done there by the Yone. He's worth 43 points for a reason. He does things like that sometimes, which obviously helps out a little bit. Also, the only player above 200 CS. Look at that, 217 CS at 20 minutes 20 seconds, so over 10 CS a minute as well here. As we'll see, Captain Rex pulled back in.
Why
here,
are we
and
not Ragnaroking the
unfortunately,
two?
I don't.
Please!
You can Ragnarok
Please!
it, you can flash it, you could not be there. There's probably 5 different ways to not have that happen, but you know what? He was 1-7, now he's 1-8. Does his death really mean much? My guess is not
Yeah, I mean,
really.
it sort of does. They're going Baron off the back of it.
I don't think
It-
that they needed the Olaf kill to go Baron.
Maybe not, but they could at least have someone else to stand there and tank up damage while the Zeri tries to fight, right? And it actually was Fiend Hunter, by the way. Crazy choice. Also crazy choice of where to back there. Pure, not allowed at all, my guy. Yeah, the way too close. Violet happy to get that kill in their favor. Just some really odd decisions happening right now from the real Turbinators. Unable to find the optimal plays right now, as it does typically happen when you're down this much gold, right? The plays that you go for are quite often not as fulfilling as you'd like them to be. But the plays like this could work if Lego Alien walks up and just has to flash away. Ooh, way too close.
As yeah, we do have for the moment just going to be the resets here with Dragon up in a few seconds. A couple players trying to get some quick healing in their base. Teleport comes out from Hwei, of course, to go shove that bottle, but again, it's just looking like 3 dragons, and again, it's really looking like, you know, even into game 3, it's looking like it'll just be a 1-1 situation. But we'll wait and see exactly what's going on here. As again, still ways for this game to get flipped around. Obviously, that Zeri is going to be the notable thing that can carry it up, as it is actually the Fiend Hunter bolts here, not the Runons, interestingly, for the Zeri here. We'll wait and see now. I'd assume they're just going into the Infinity Edge. It'd surprise me if not, but they're definitely not a very long timer for this Zeri to get to that point of 1v9ing, so I'm definitely a little bit concerned here for the side of Turbinators. But again, always down to go into game 3 at an even standstill, make it into a B05 instead of that B07, so we'll wait and see here as they try and defend the base. Nico in the mid lane, the rest pushing down bot. Lego Alien lurks in the mid to try and hold some support wherever it's needed. It's Captain Rex trying to take a 1v1 on Nico. Didn't go very well and has to back up at around half HP before Nico takes damage, as we'll see the bot tower taken, bot inhib taken, mid tower will go down as well as Captain Rex.
Can I ask what Ragnarok is for? If we're not going to use it when we're going to get CC'd?
It's a decoration, I think. I mean,
Like,
yeah, we'll wait and see, I guess. I mean, I don't think there's anything that'll happen in regards to this.
if nothing else, use it as a glorified cleanse. Please.
Yeah, he has both of his summoners. He has ultimate. I would just like to see a little bit more. Truthfully, press a button that you haven't. I don't know. We'll see here. Lost Zero, Winkin gonna try and hold on. Nico gonna miss the ult down.
Hold
Winkin
on.
ult himself.
Zeri moment.
Back away is Hashim trying to hold on for the moment here. Lost Zero trying to hold on here. Does have that anti-heal as well. So definitely getting some good value.
Zeri moment.
Zinzao goes down. Zehen goes down as well. The lore characters are dead. Kinkazi heals up, but he gets polymorph, so he's gonna get taken out. Shutdown goes down. 700 gold in Zeri's pocket. As we'll see the fight win over to the side of the Turbinators here. They at least hold on minutes longer. We'll see how much gold Zeri has. Really needs to finish up some more items here, because again, Zeri can Psycho 1v9 this game with some of the support pieces they have, but unfortunately with the gold currently, I don't see that 1v9 happening, as Nico finds Captain Rex.
Okay, what is the Olaf champion? How is he actually 1v1 in this unit? I have so many questions about what I'm seeing this game. Captain Rex just decided to go for a 1v1 whenever it's possible, and I mean, against the Aatrox, he has been effectively stat checked the whole game, right? Kinkazi's done an amazing job of neutralizing the early threat the Olaf has, and then just running away with the game from there. But beyond that, I mean, he has threat against everyone else in this server still, right? Down 2 levels on the Yone, he just goes for the fight at 1 item up against 2.5, and just like, you know what? I think I have a chance. And he just sends it. Actually forces Nico to go scrambling, but unfortunately when Nico goes scrambling, he buys another item in his base.
And yeah, I do think it's worth noting to Human Faith, it was an Olaf fourth pick picked before the Karma and Xin Zhao with Lulu last pick, but we'll see Karma go down here. Hashem gets it, and again, they're turning this around decently here. Violet going to go down as well, so the bot lane gets picked up, but obviously a couple of things that are going to try and
It's
stop
just way too aggressive.
coming out. 4 recalls coming in. Zeri's in base already, so not going to be the worst of all time here. And again, they're holding on, right? They're down 6 or 7,000 gold right now, so they're trying to stabilize it, but we'll have to wait and see here. Down, what are they actually? 6.4k gold, I believe, so right in the middle there. So we'll see Law Zero heads back to base. What do we have this time? We do have that Infinity Edge finished up. Obviously, Berserker's Greaves over in the free boots item slot, as we'll wait and get into exactly what our next item is going to be here. Obviously, a healthy percent of crit right now, but we'll wait and see potentially once that full crit. Maybe just going to go into a little bit more of supporting stats, get some AD, maybe a Bloodthirster is always on the table as ult.
Ooh.
Not going to connect onto PR for Nico. He does get that E off as wanted to kill the Lissandra, but not going to get that full lethal one tap as Lissandra goes for the quick recall here. Going to head back into base here as the Zonias has that lovely Malignance here, trying to work on, I believe, a Void Staff, maybe a Crypt Bloom.
Crypt
but
Bloom, he's got a
wait and see. And
Phoenix Codex.
I think he just upgraded that. I could be tweaking though, but regardless, doesn't matter because that's what he's going for. Is we'll see La Zero, Wink, and Captain Rex and Hashem. They are on a train to support him to pick up a red buff.
Yeah, I mean, that's how much you have to protect your Zeri in moments like this, right?
Here we go.
Make sure that you keep her alive as long as
Doggy.
possible.
Trying to. Zeri has to flash out of that W. They feel is, what are we doing? What? Why?
I mean, there's
First
running a
time we press
distraction,
that
and then
run,
there's
we
like
run in. Oh
that
my
was
God.
that wasn't
Your
just like
Zeri
distraction.
already
That
wants
was
to
just like
flash.
yeah.
Sorry, Nexus Towers I forgot Nexus Towers respawn. I thought they just healed. That's so goofy, but they do respawn to help them out here because Riot Games made it. So we'll see the Nexus Towers. So rarely do I see a Nexus just left open that these do happen, but they do respawn here. They get the third Nexus Tower of the game here. Is King Kazi trying to hold on. The anti-heal burning him away a little bit. Panda Boy trying to fight forward here. Fourth Nexus Tower of the game. Hashem hit by the Severing Bolt. It's a kill for the Hui here. La Zero trying to make something happen. The Severing Bolt dashing away, but the Nexus unfortunately lost for where Panda Boy flashes in, gets the kill in the game. 27 minutes in. 1-1 here. We go into a standstill heading into the last game of our Saturday in the SDC here, but definitely interesting so far, right? You look back at game 1 for the Turbinators. They had a nice point lead there. They were able to just kind of take complete control of that game, win everywhere. Game 2 ends up Luggage used one of their 2 vanillas there in a positive 21-point game for them, with 4 of their 5 best players and Lego Alien replacing Frishy for that final spot instead of just being their 5 best players. But at the end of the day, they hold on, they win it here as game number 2 in the books. I suppose we'll send things back over to a break. We'll wait and see if we do get any more perks used for game 3. I'd expect Turbinators to want to try and win it maybe with the help of some perks, but we'll wait and see exactly what we get when we're back for game 3 in a few minutes.
what you've been missing. You swear that you can't get enough. I know you've been hoping and wishing that you could get more of my love. And every time I give it just a little bit, you're getting more high, begging for another hit.
Alrighty, we are back here for the final game of day one of the SDC Season 23 finals. Couple of perks logged in here. First off, we have a steal a ban coming out from the Real Terminators, forcing Luggage to ban Xin Zhao. Then 2+1 additional bans, Ambessa, Jarvan, and Mel gonna get taken off the table. So Ambessa, Jarvan banned away by the side of the Turbinators, Mel banned away by the side of Luggage, Xin Zhao force banned by Turbinators for Luggages. We'll see the rest of them here. Obviously that Xin Zhao required, but Riven, Lilia, Karma, Syndra, the first four that we see.
Yeah, surprisingly heavy focus on the jungle in those bans, right? The Xin Zhao, Ambessa, flexible top jungle, and then the Jarvan as well. Don't know really what it says about what Terminators want to go into, because I mean they are like the most default of default champions right now, especially with the flexibility of that Ambessa with B1 potential. But hey, what they want to go towards remains to be seen, as we'll get into things here. Good to see the Karma band away this time, but just gonna be the straight up B1 Gwen here for the Luggage, and something tells me someone with Snipper in his name might be looking to snip, shall we say?
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Snipper had we'll just say one of the series of all times last weekend. Had some good moments and some Captain Rex last game moments, but we'll wait and see how it ends up going for them here. As I honestly wouldn't even surprise me if that Gwen does go jungle to the side of Panda Boy with things
Also
like
true.
the Xin Zhao Jarvan off the table, but we'll wait and see here. Obviously, it could go over to Snipper as we get the Gwen, then Ashe Seraphine picked up here, presumably for this bot lane of Turbinators for Lacuna and Dynamic. A 16-point bot lane is again lower point games here. 105 to 73 gives a 32-point advantage to the side of Luggage, who again looking at a good position here to try and win out on day one. But we'll wait and see here. Obviously, some things to try and help out. Maybe we'll get some mute deafens or behind enemy lines as well. So definitely ways to get some shenanigans going on here for the Turbinators as well. Picked up to go with the Quirky here, expecting that to fall in the pockets of Hudok here, as obviously a lot of this game is going to be on the side of Nico. If you take Nico out of the game, it is dead even. Obviously, Pior in the mid lane as well is a lot of value there, so definitely going to be, realistically, I guess it just comes down to who wins mid, right? Nico or Pior will probably be able to just carry this game. Obviously, some good players still on the side of Luggage to try and help them out, so I definitely think they have to be a little bit concerned, just mentally take a note of it with how few games some of their tier 4s are playing later, because we saw previously, obviously, some series where you have to play a decent amount of tier 3 and tier 4s later in the series at certain points, so definitely gets to be a little bit scary when you have to start doing things like that, but obviously we'll wait and see here in the second half of bans after the Nefiri on 3, Silas taken away.
Yeah, I'm wondering here. I mean, like, it's a really low point for Real Terminators here. I kind of expect them to go a little bit harder, but I mean, they also kind of couldn't, right? It's the position they backed themselves into, going relatively high game one and game two, only going 1-1 out of it. You're now forced to go onto quite a low point for this third and final game of the day. Interesting to see how if they can pull through. But they are, as pointed out before, that 32-point differential, not in the best of places for them. As rounding out these bans, we have got Anivia, Yasuo, and that's definitely not going to be a Heimerdinger ban, because that would be insane. Darius instead, taken away by the Luggage. As we head into the second rotation, looks like big focus on mid here from Shisen and his boys. Makes a lot of sense. That's kind of the one place they haven't chosen just yet. On the other side, solo lane focus from the Luggage, as we should be seeing, I would expect, mid here, unless they just want to take what they expect to be into a Gwen. But I wouldn't mind waiting on this flex to bow out. There it goes, Pure looking to take the Hui away this time.
And yeah, we'll see it grabbed up here, probably leaning that toward the mid lane for the side of, I suppose, Pior at this point. But we'll wait and see here. I maybe honestly even expected that mid lane to get the counter pick instead of the top lane, just to try and make that mid matchup just a little bit better. As Cassante being hovered right now, haven't seen him too much this season, as he's a little bit less completely terroristic than he was, but obviously is still pretty strong. So we'll wait and see for this exact moment as we continue on here. as we'll see what the next pick is going to be here. Really looking for this counter pick mid, unless maybe we do want something like that Corki committed, as obviously that does confirm that Gwen is going to go into the jungle as well, which is definitely worth keeping in mind. But just now down to what do we want in the mid lane, and Ari going to get picked up here. I don't hate it into the comp that we're looking at.
Yeah, I mean, surprisingly underused so far, as that throws a humongous wrench in the works. What the hell is happening now? Is Nico doing some weirdness? Nico, what are you planning?
Gwen mid,
Why?
right?
I mean, like,
To be it,
yeah,
right?
that
Nico is still
Wukong on
Nico
5 would
could. Well,
you,
so, okay,
you can.
even ignoring the fact that Nico can go anywhere, because Nico can go anywhere. He's filled. They can swap him however they need to. I don't.
Sure, but
But
the
it's
champs
just
can't.
looking at the champs. Yeah.
I mean, you could
I think it has to
Wukong
be
mid
Gwen
if
mid,
you
right?
wanted to.
Who's
Wukong
playing
top was
it?
a thing for a while.
Any
I,
of
I
these
don't see
three
why you do it into
characters.
Quay.
Because Sante can't be jungle to me, but any of these characters can be anything. I really do think it just has to be that Gwen mid. I mean, there's ways that it goes differently, but if it's not just Cassante Wukong Gwen with what we've seen, I don't really know what
But the
else it
question is
could
why,
be.
right? The
Yeah,
question
that
at
is
this
a
point
good
isn't
question
what,
as
it's
to why.
why. Because, like,
What do they see in the Gwen to take mid here? I don't know. Maybe there just is a Gwen mid player here. Maybe Nico's a big Gwen mid guy. I don't know. We'll wait and see here. We get the Garen obviously as the last pick to round out the draft. But what do you think here, the Mr. Roo? Any
um,
insights into your current stance?
insight, they're lacking, I'll be honest, because I've been stun locked by
Yeah.
the end of that draft. Major insight is Captain Rex will have a better game. He has a Garen into Cassante that is insanely Garen favored. That's like nightmare fuel for a Cassante. So I stopped seeing him so blind pickable in tier 1 recently, is that Garen kind of just runs you over, runs you down, and kills you on repeat. You can try and Cassante your way out of things, but it's just not as effective when the guy you're up against doesn't care as much, and he just spins, and you're silenced, and you die. It sucks. Rest of the map, I mean, Ash Seraphine, very solid, of course. Into Corky Rel, it's going to be difficult, I'd say, for Corky Rel to trade in normally to this Ash Seraphine, but they also have a pretty large point advantage over both of them in the bot lane, so definitely could go in the Corky Rel's favor. And then, I mean, the mid jungle feels like it's going to be absolute Armageddon, right? Nefiri, if there are many junglers that don't really want to just sit around and farm. Nefiri is one of them, right? Nefiri is up there at the top of the I want to gank and I want to kill champions, and that's what they're going to try and do. We'll see if Sultan's able to do that. We'll see if he's going to have the space, because I mean, space is something that's going to be pretty hard to come by, right? Magnet Storm, Gwen, Cassante, Wukong, like, I don't want to go near any of them. The Corki feels like it's going to be very safe. And beyond those lanes, I don't see a real chance for the Turbinators to kind of get under this luggage lineup. But it then does bring us back to those lanes, because Ash Seraphine into Corki Ralph does sound nice. Garen into Cassante sounds very nice. And Hui, whatever they're up against, honestly, sounds pretty solid. Is this Cassante mid? Are we doing this? Like, what's going on here?
Yeah, I'm curious to see exactly where everything lands. I really can't see where
I
this
think it
not
has to be
going to
Cassante mid
Gwen mid.
now,
I think you do? You don't think it can be the
because
Gwen?
you can't play Cassante into Garen. It is hell on earth.
I think that they're gonna give him the Cassante into Garen.
I feel
I think
bad for
it's
Skipper if
happening.
that
I think
happens.
it's happening. I feel bad for Stiffer regardless here, but we'll wait and see what ends up happening. We'll give the teams a little bit longer to get everybody in the lobby, finish deliberations, and then get good to go here. Does look like in the lobby it is still Nico on mid, so I'm not expecting any weird role swaps, but obviously always still some time for them to get that going before the game starts. But we're going to send things back over to a break. We should be back in here in just a few minutes, and then we will be good to go here for our final game of the first half of the finals here. Currently 1-1, starting up a brand new best of 5 from now. We'll have to wait and see exactly who's able to take the first game in that new set as we send things back to a break, back in a few minutes. Are back here in the SDC game 3 of day 1 of the grand finals. Here, our final game of the day before we go to the end, and we have Pingu Garen up against Snipper in the top lane. That's going to be a fun one.
I love
Wukong
that skin.
carry jungle, Gwen Hui mid lane. Sure enough, we'll see how it goes. Nico into Pior here. The winner of this lane, I expect to carry the game, but Gwen is Gwen. We've seen Gwens do horribly early and still 1v9, so Nico gonna have a lot of work to do here, I think.
Yeah, even more work as well, bearing in mind that he cannot hear nor speak back to his teammates. He is mute deafened, as is Panda. A lot of perks being used right now by the real Turbinators, feeling the necessity in game 3 of the day to make sure they head into this second day of the finals up if they can. Going to do their absolute best to do precisely that, as Captain Rex should have a lot more fun this game, as we said in draft, on the Garen up against the Cassante, especially Aftershock Cassante as well. This is the kind of Cassante that says, I don't want to fight you, please don't hurt me, sir. Captain Rex going to ignore that and should be looking for as much murder as possible.
Yeah, definitely going to be a lot of chaos here in this top lane. Again, you do have two of the lower point players in the game here. Obviously, this bot lane of Lacuna and Dynamic are also between them, but we'll see how they do here, playing a pretty simple lane. Ashe Seraphine, go for the slow, go for the roots here. A lot of ways they can try and control this lane, despite being at a, 31 to 16, so a 15-point difference here, which, again, not really that bad, especially considering Lacuna, obviously very competent player here, considering the tier and all, but we'll wait and see, Nico. Gonna hold on here, a little bit more poke into the side of Pior as the Cassante and Garen continue trading. And again, as you mentioned, not necessarily the most lovely lane of all time for Cassante, so definitely expecting him to be playing a lot safer. And hopefully that does mean for Captain Rex, he won't suffer the same problems of last game and he gets to at least play the game a little bit more. So obviously last game was pretty rough for him. It's nice cancel here, able to get a little bit of damage out inside of that queue. As we'll see, the trade's okay for now. Once we get towards level 6, obviously this lane's going to get a lot more explosive, but definitely going to be interesting to see if either of them do pick up some solo kills. Obviously going to be some mistakes. We'll see if some players are able to punish it. Obviously moving near that tower could be a dangerous game against the Cassante, but we'll wait and see here. Obviously some nice healing for both of them. As we'll see another trade here coming in. Garen QE walks forward, W comes down, stun comes out. Sniper going to try and keep this trade going a little bit longer, but obviously needs to be careful of that Conqueror. Has to back away before it gets truly lethal, so is able to DPO here as Sultan holding on here, gonna try and pressure onto the Wukong, but not gonna be able to get anything like a smite onto the crab.
Sultan.
Way diving in, has to go invul and Justin Hudok trying to move in as well. Pior though, Pior should just be dead. I don't think he has a way out here. There we go, first blood for Wukong as Pior goes down. Sultan has to try and move back to safety, but that scuttle will get picked up by Panda Boy, as Sultan should be able to get top scuttle at the very least as he goes in for a trade to Nico. If he loses too much HP, it won't look great. Teleport from Pior now as Nico looking for the solo kill. Could Q flash auto, but misses the Q.
Ooh.
As Pior comes teleporting back in. Will be the flash coming out from Wukong trying to chase down Sultan, but he flips away, and now Sultan has some damage backwards. Way gonna try and get more. Nico trying to stay alive as well, but Panda Boy goes down. A kill for Pior after his untimely death.
Yeah, and it's just too much. Just too much there from Panda Boy. Tanks a couple of turret shots, and that is going to be his demise. I think first time around there, very, very greedy there for Sultan to try and play for the bot crab. When any bot has push, they have Price walk up the river. They do precisely that. Jest in there really early and right on time, at least from where Panda Boy was looking at it. Ends it in a 4 versus 2. And Pure, the one that ends up really facing the worst of the punishment. Sultan barely escaping with his life. And then baiting under the turret, ends up managing to get Panda Boy to go flashing forward and still die to the shots flying at his face. Completely undodgeable once you're at that point. And Nico getting down that low as well means that Pure has a little bit of time in mid to hopefully for him get a wave pushed out, maybe even look for another base and take his time to breathe, re-establish, spend that gold from the kill and get himself back into the game, as Nico has already taken his base, has a blasting wand, so at least he's going to have a reasonable time in return.
And yeah, definitely has decent damage now if he can connect full combos, but here's the problem
Needlework?
playing melee into Hui. You are in a rough spot sometimes as Needlework comes out. Snipper, a lot of CS to clear here. He's done 21 right now, but he has almost 10 here to try and catch up on. We'll see how he does. Gets one, gets the cannon, gonna try and work on the back line here. Not bad, actually. Ends up getting the majority of it here, so fair play to Snipper there. Obviously, we'll see another attempt here. Sultan diving in, trying to take down this crab here, or this Raptors, rather.
Greedy
As
once
Pure
more.
comes out really early. That's a really early invuln. Stun gonna grab him. Pure has no mana to really help him. Snipper thinking about trying to take this fight as well, but Sultan is able to get away in the mid lane at the very least here. As we'll see Captain Rex holding onto his HP bar. Sultan gets flipped and Hui holds the recall. Sultan is
What are
dead.
we doing?
Dog shot dead in the street. Pure backs and Sultan. He is two in a rush to try and go, I think, to his Gromp. He wanted to go straight to his Gromp, but ends up taking the wrong path, right? Too risky, too dangerous for a little bit more speed. So he gets picked off and goes down. Now loses the Gromp as well. So a little bit too hasty here, but we'll see now. Rotating over. I don't think there's a real play here, but we'll wait and see. Slam down comes in. Justin does get the double stun, but not going to be much trading. But here's the real question, Rue. If you are Snipper, Panda Boy's muted, Nico's muted. They can't talk or hear you. They just type in chat. Do you just feel like a weird third wheel right now? Your bot lane surely communicating with each other. Is he just sitting there chilling in the call?
He's got the solo queue experience. Spotify in the background, playing whatever the hell he wants.
There's got people talking in
just
the background. Hudok and Justin. Oh, look, watch out for the Seraphine Q. Watch out for the Ash W. They're gonna engage on us. And he's just
yeah.
he's on a payphone, man. He's stable Ronaldo. He's having a great time chilling.
Well, I mean, you say great time chilling. I'd probably beg to disagree on that one because he is getting Garen versus
hasn't died.
Cassandra right now.
He hasn't died.
We said before this matchup sucks and definitely can't be overstated. But I mean, while his bot lane may be making all those calls to help themselves, I mean, Justin's doing a great job playing around the map, even though he it's effectively mute deaf on like half the squad, and as such has even more power, right? The fact that the support jungle is still meeting up in enemy side to just go as aggressive as they are, it's working out incredibly well so far. Justin doing an amazing job of using his presence on the map to get not just his Corki into a fine state, but also now the Wukong, as he catches Sultan just way too far forward that previous time. Only level 5, gets the kill. Is going to end up losing that blue buff. Is going to be Panda Boy in exchange for the Drape. I'm sure he's more than happy with that, especially after he was able to claim the previous Gromp as well. Keeps himself in a pretty solid state in terms of his clear. And he can go around once more. He's going to find out about his blue very shortly, but I'm sure he'll be absolutely fine as we head back to top lane. Because Snipper, that's quite a deep TP, sir.
Yeah, we'll have here Captain Rex trying to hold on as we'll see the trade. Not much action in the trade. They're just kind of holding buttons at each other, but taking into tower here. Captain Rex hold down, but does get the healing and stays alive here. But I think it's interesting. I know my proposed rule change. I know that this is going directly to Alan. When you mute deafen multiple players, it should be like a Mordekaiser ult, and they get to talk to each other. So there's my rule suggestion. I think that Panda Boy and Nico this game, like because you mute deafen multiple players, they go into the Mordekaiser realm, and they should be allowed to talk to each other in a different voice call. There's my humble rule suggestion. Alan is telling us that's already a perk. My bad. That's a different perk. Apologies.
Someone out here suggesting Silasar, and then Silas like, oh well, hello bot lane. What the hell is going on down here?
Double flash
Destin.
Isn't solo queue 2 players can talk to each other and the other 3 are mute deafened? Or can the other 3 talk to each other still? The other 3 can talk to each other still. Okay, so that is basically just a thing. Okay, fair enough. As we'll wait and see dynamic here, trying to hold on.
That was 4 subs, by the way.
Moment. Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah, that's actually huge. We talked in the draft, right? Corki Rel up against Ash Seraphine, like this should be not the most fun times in the matchup, but Hudok, he brought Cleanse for that precise reason, right? Levels 1 through 5, it's kind of just an accessory. Means your trading power is nowhere near as strong. You could avoid the occasional route if it comes through. If Dynamic somehow lands it, I mean, Ash could help out with that, of course, to turn those slows into routes, but now level 6 is reached, that Encore does absolutely nothing when that cleanse is up and available, and Hudok just says, I don't care what you've got coming my way. I'm going to stand in front of it, and I will out-DPS you. This early game Corki absolutely flying as only a man in a helicopter can.
And yeah, we'll see now Captain Rex here. Will be trying to hold on in this top lane. Nico going to try and move out as well, as we'll see the stuns coming in here. Captain Rex going to try and stay stable here. Nico in the mid lane as well. Is down CS right now to Pure, obviously 0-0-0 right now. Pure does have that 1-1 from the earlier death involving Sultan. And that attempt is... We'll see Snipper here holding on to the HP here, obviously still struggling on the CS. But the one thing worth noting, a while back, I took the account back a while ago when he was clearing that big wave under tower, and he was only down 21 farm there. Currently, he's down 23. So
Oh no,
his
this
CS
lane game.
gap hasn't actually gotten worse. He's been able to keep even in CS for the past several minutes, which is decent. Not letting that CS gap compound into something much larger. Obviously, sure, it's going to fluctuate by 5 or 10 here or there as waves push in and out, but definitely doing a decent job on this Cassante, keeping it in the state that it is, not letting it get worse than it was. So, well played there to the Cassante there. Again, it's, as we've mentioned probably, I think, for the 5th time now, this lane is not fun. It's not great. He's going to lose a tower plate here. As here we go, bot lane, double ult comes out from the Seraphine dynamic. Arrow comes out, Hudok stunned up here, but nice damage coming out from Hudok here.
Oh,
Okuda might get blown up here. Really nice, as we'll see. Can
Just
they kill
an
this
MVP.
Quirky here? Has to flash away from the double Q, but will stay alive as Nico getting chased now. Doesn't have that W to work with. Sultan gonna jump in, bleeding, gets him, gets away with the invul. Panaboy gonna flash Sultan, trying to get the cyclone here. Once the dog puts him down,
Bonk.
as we'll see him probably not able to get onto the side of Pior, as Cassante trying to get the trades onto Garen here. Again, just staying stable, dynamic, getting stunned up here, as well as the Quirky officially trying to hold that respawn to get out of here. As we'll see Snipper just go back into hiding under tower. He's about to lose his next tower plate, but obviously it's bound to happen at some point. But what do you think about Hubris and Fury here? I personally feel like it wasn't the best option, but what do you think?
I think from where that is, it's kind of Sultan knowing that he has to be there or thereabouts for everything. Otherwise, this game is just not going to work, right? But that's not what I was thinking about for all that play. What I was thinking is how insane Jestin just was in that 2 versus 2. The only reason Huddock is able to survive that play is because Jestin flashed in front of the Ashe, stand right in front of the volley, making sure he tanked up like nearly all of them, to the point where Huddock couldn't get hit, and that was literally the difference between him living or dying. It was that close in the bot 2v2. He wins it for his side, and he keeps his ADC alive. And now they have to push once more. They can look for a second Drake.
As yeah, we'll see Pior here trying to hold on. Nico and him poking each other out here. Mana orbs come up. Nico going to get comboed a little bit there, taken down to just over half HP. But again, Gwen, while they can be explosive in the early game, especially against tank, are not really a early game character, right? Come 3 items, Nico is going to be absolutely melting people regardless of how quickly he gets there. As we'll see Baby here, Pure rather, trying to back away here. Panaboy comes in, but a massive needlework miss there by the side of Nico. Not going to get almost anything with that full ult cast. As we'll see him, Panaboy backing away. Sultan in the area could commit to this if they really wanted
Danger,
to.
yeah.
The ult, Nico trying to heal up. Gonna see the severing bolt drop down. Sultan taken to about 2/3 HP, but not going to be anywhere near lethal. So he's happy to get the kill, get out here as he goes back to the camps here. It's honestly a decently even game right now. It's definitely still favored to Luggage. I think 2-0 drags, 3-0 grubs make up for the tiny gold disadvantage, which will likely be gone within moments, as we'll see Nico and Pure fighting it out again. But he
Oh
gets
my
into the
god, he's
W.
gone.
Nicely done there by Pure to step in to get in that W range, as they are going to be able to secure that extra kill here, a little bit more gold. So Pure definitely going to be the saving grace to try and counteract those objectives, but we'll have to wait and see exactly how it goes.
Yeah, and now I'm really liking the Neferi with Hubris because they know they need to be the carry, and they're starting to become the carry, right? 19 stacks already on it, so you get 15 by default when you're a melee champ, 2 per takedown, and that last trade, I believe 90 seconds as well in Norms. I'm used to ARAM Hubris because when else do you build the item? But right now, Sultan, 19 extra AD if a fight comes his way. Shouldn't be able to find one, shouldn't be one given over to him, but it just takes one more kill, and suddenly he's got that much more strength. Basically, an extra longsword or 2 whenever the time comes. He's doing absolutely amazing right now in the jungle and looking to just snowball that lead even further. That's what this champion has to do, right? It's a very different style of Nocturne, where it's less about the CC of not being able to see anything and more about just to kill even more. And that's precisely what Sultan's going to be able to do now. He has that in his inventory.
Yeah. What do you think about Cassante build? Full tank good here?
You have to, right? I think just hang on. You're there to be the front line for your team. The whole point of what you're doing here is you need to protect your Corki as long as possible. Going full tank gonna allow that to happen as often as you can. Your stats also increase based off your armor, because that's what normal champions do. Normal champions like Ornn and Cassante, they scale off their armor.
I know Showmaker has some good input on that as Nico. He kind of got there. He goes down again. As we'll see Captain Rex. I'm trying to hold on. He actually probably gets solo killed in the 1v1.
Oh, what a
Nice
Q3.
counter there by Snipper. Yeah, honestly, knowing Cassante, he could just kill them both here. We'll see if he actually does. Garen obviously has ultimate, so you have to be really, really
Yeah.
careful, but he's going to try and back away. There's no Garen.
The
He goes
spike from the sky is a little bit scary.
He should be. No, he gets away here. I could have seen maybe a Q flash auto ult there from Garen. As Lacuna has to flash away from Mr. Doc there to escape the quirky barrage. We'll see Captain Rex here moving in. They're going to dive him. Poor guy. Q auto flash. There we go. There it is. That's exactly what we were waiting for. We know that combo's coming. Whoa! Panda Boy just used 92 dashes in a row, and he goes one
And then
for one
died.
for it.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately for him, this Hui is getting incredibly fed right now. Nico not having a fun time in mid, farming okay, but down about 30. Massive turn up right now for the Hui as just roam down to bot, get another kill, gifted over, walk back up towards mid if you want to try and catch that there, or you can just stick around where you are. You can kind of 1v2 right now up against this Corky Rail, as long as you don't let them engage all too easily. If you have your E up, you can walk forward as much as you want. Great start to the game in mid and in top, to be fair to Captain Rex, who has recovered emphatically from where we saw in game 2. Good job from both of them to start this one here off. Their solo laners need to be winning though, otherwise this comp falls apart, and it doesn't take much for this comp to come crumbling back down either.
And yeah, we'll see Panda Boy now trying to back away here down into his wolves. Captain Rex here going to look to hold on as well as stuns coming out here. These two, they're just going to keep trading. Garen doesn't really have the damage anymore to just consistently get through this Cassante armor, so neither of them really going to be in a rush to do anything against each other. But we'll see back bot here, Nico against Pior. Going to be obviously a bit of a different stability level here than last game. Is obviously Pior this time a much more stable position than Nico. But again, we've seen, I mentioned earlier, Gwens have done really poorly in the early game. I've seen tier 4 Gwens do poorly in the early game and then still be an absolute terrorist later in the game. So definitely going to have a chance to try and get back into it. Seraphino going to get extended a little bit, but not too long here. Ult comes down. Wukong in danger, but able to get away.
This is a huge commit.
Double pull from Pior, and that will secure the double kill as they get executed out. One for Hui, one for Garen. Ultimate as Hudok Justin back in the mid lane here. And while the objectives definitely favor the side of Luggage, if they can't get this dragon and keep that train going, it is definitely going to look a little bit rough here. And with Herald crashing mid, definitely feels like
he actually got in it.
Difficult. Hui could just get jumped on here. We'll see if they turn. No, they're diving the backline here instead of focusing on that Hui who's guaranteed to come out of Herald. The ADCs get traded here. Nico going to try and back.
It's 3v5.
He's going to work with this Gwen, but he doesn't have the stats he needs right now. Justin has to run away as well. He'll be able to live at least. No, they have to flash now, as we'll see. Again, really rough.
Yeah, and they're walking up in a 3v5 situation, right? They kind of assume, from Luggage side of things, the real Turbinators are just going to the Drake. And I understand in some regard, like, maybe in a different world they should, but in this world, if you're going to walk up in what can be a 3 versus 5, then you're going to get punished. I mean, Captain Rex stays on the top side, he gets himself the tier 2 instead, but the fight was just never there. The range advantage so in the real Terminator's favor. As soon as that Corky goes, your range is so much less, right? You're basically all melee for the rest of the fight. That's the issue when you have a Gwen as one of your main carries. It's so feast or famine. And unfortunately, this game, Nico, I mean, he's fasting more than most people do in Ramadan.
Nope. Not touching that. Not touching that one. That's me actively taking a small bite of food.
He's fasting a lot more than Colonel is right now. I'll tell you that.
A lot more than me. That's. I took a half a bite of a Dorito there. Had to refuel for the moment, and then you talk about fasting. I said, can't be me. Couldn't be me. I'd never fast. I've never played Senna once in my life. As we'll wait and see.
This might work.
Question. Does Pior just 1v9 hard carry this game at this point? Or do you think Luggage maybe have a way back into it? Obviously, there's still some things they can do, but they're down 6K. Arrow's going to stall Snipper. Captain Rex and Sultan.
That's enough.
I think they probably can get out. Sultan has the
info. Easily.
Captain Rex is tanking for him, but... Oh, there we go. I was going to say the 5v2 dive doesn't look great, but then Dynamic and Lacuna shoe up over the wall in time. But look at bot lane! Look at bot lane! Oh my god! Hui's ending the game, bro.
Yeah, I mean, this is the thing with plays like this. It feels almost desperate, right? You go looking for the play on the sideline. Looks like it might work, but they don't commit to the top side. Instead, it's going to be Justin making sure that the Garen can't just run through the river, which would have been somewhat embarrassing. Has to cut off that escape route, but it doesn't have to be him to cut off that escape route. Right? Someone has to, but it shouldn't be the Rel who's first on the scene, first with the CC. Instead, it should be like kind of second or third person there to make sure that isn't the escape route. As long as it's not Huddock alone on the Corki, you can kind of just go full send around the far side with the Rel. That's your CC, that's your engage. It took too long to get them there after that because they couldn't block off that top side escape route. He walks straight through where Snipper was, slows him down with Strikebreaker, and just gets himself to a point of relative safety. Sultan tanks a pretty rough trade, but ends up being absolutely fine. And now, I mean, look at what's happening to Snipper on this top side, right? Down 2 levels. Captain Rex does not give a singular percentage of a damn. He's going to get ganked once more, but Nico's getting absolutely eaten alive, flashing away, and there's no way he can just hang on in the bot wave right now. His side lane is getting absolutely eaten, and Sultan just got a solo kill. I mean, technically, there was a Hwei there, but that's a technicality at best. And you sent 4 people top.
Yeah. Speaking of being here, I do have to think Calvin Rex, unfortunately, not here. They're in the top lane, as we'll see a callback there. As Lakuna's getting chased on. Sultan doing his best he can to help him. Seraphine comes down. They're doing everything they can to get Lakuna out here. And oh, look at Pior comes in from behind.
Oh, Justin,
that's gonna bring the death as he gets down the Ash Udok as well.
Oh,
Gets tagged over the wall. Wow. Nice find there. Look at Wukong spamming it there in the chat. Here, clicking everything they can think of there. But unfortunately, knowledge is not going to save this game state now. 8k gold in favor of this red side, and they're up 6 kills. They have a dragon now. They're looking at the second one in about 90 seconds. I really just don't see what's going on here. At this point, Neferi's popping off. The Hubris starting to stack up as well. Was a little bit scared of it earlier, but obviously, when you're involved in so many fights, like you mentioned, they have to be everywhere to be successful. So Sultan forcing those stacks at so many turns here, 8 of the 15 KP here. As we'll see Nico take a recall here, trying to finish up this second item, but has definitely fallen behind the curve in this one here. So in a game that really he needed to carry to have a good chance of winning it, unfortunately, the mute deafens, maybe even just the simple process of not winning lane definitely doesn't
I think
help
the champions,
the matchup. Yeah.
Like it's confounding. The Gwen B1, it looked nice on paper, especially when you have a guy called Snipper. I like the idea of him running around with scissors. I'll be honest, that sounds quite fun. But then you move it down to mid, and suddenly it's one of your 2 main carries. Your range just does not exist, right? This is the issue we talked about before. But you're up against Hwei. You're up against Ashe. How are you going to get into Gwen's effective range? Like, it doesn't seem possible. And right now, Nico has just been like completely spaced out of the whole game. In the side lane, he's not been allowed to exist. And in the team fights, he's barely done much more. And this is now a desperation Baron going to come through from Luggage to try and salvage this game. This has to get spotted, though, surely. The Scuttle Vision, they're going to wait. They're going to W over it with Panda Boy so he doesn't get spotted. Everyone else has hopped over the wall. Nico tanking up the worst of it, though. Ashe E.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Ashe is so OP.
They gotta do something here. They know that Baron is healthy. They gotta do something here. Hudok has dashes backwards. Justin has dashes backwards. Garen making work happen.
Oh,
Nico, he's holding the back. Nico held the back. He has teleport. It's fine. It's fine. As they do get the kill on the Neferi, but
he's TPing bot.
What?
He's TPing bot.
There's blood going. Oh, Captain Rex is BMing the emote spam. Do you see the emote spam from Captain Rex before diving him? Oh my god. Well played,
Dance.
Captain Rex.
Dance, Penguin, dance.
You know what? He was 1-6 last game. This is one of the best turnarounds I have seen in 2 back-to-back games. He had genuinely probably the worst game of SDC I've seen this season. It was really rough. Not even 100%
I think he ended 1-10
things against him, but he had a really rough game. And then obviously at the end, like some of those Olaf ults, or rather lack of Olaf ults, were really painful to watch. As Captain Rex, always because he make it in time. Is he quick enough? Blast cone, go, Garen. Does Captain Rex, the 10-point tier 4, threaten the 43-point most valuable player in SDC history with an asterisk called my knowledge space, but able to force him off here, gets the dragon, 19 kills to 10, now a 9k gold lead. Objectives are basically evened out, and we are good to go here again, basically back to everything being even for this side. As Is it losable at this point? Aside from forfeiting, power outages, or dying IRL, what can stop this game win?
Um, Corki is still scary. That's something I will say. Huddock, while he hasn't had much protection in these fights so far, if he gets some, he does have 3 items already, looking to go towards a 4th. Still in a very playable position. If he gets that Hui shutdown, we got a game back on our hands. It doesn't take much for Huddock to really come back to life. And if Nico can find picks like this, because Dynamic's walking way too far by himself, by the way, what is going on here?
It's at least just the Seraphine, but Garen TP's in here. And we'll see what he can get going here. Captain Rex has been the MVP of the game for me so far.
What are we doing?
In to win here. He's going in. There goes the Gorky. As Garen takes him down. Panda Boy trying to fight back in. Lacuna, though, in a bit of danger here.
Yeah, I'm going to say it's playable.
As Captain Rex does go down here. Snipper, I hope he doesn't win that, because that would have been a real Cassante moment at 1 HP against the full HP 9 kill Pior. As mid tower goes down here, Captain Rex, he's healing a lot. Why? Is this just how broken Garen passive is? Oh my god, he's going in! Oh my god,
he can go in here.
Captain Rex. Oh my god. Well played, Garen here. Captain Rex, the 10-point player, dives in to the 43-point Nico, combined with who else was there? Who else was there with Nico?
Justin and Panda.
That is 60, 70, 82, 85 versus 10, and the 10 walks away with a double kill in his life.
Yeah, but like, it was actually a really good fight for Luggage, even through that, right? I mean, Huddock got instantly deleted, and that is an issue when you have a Garen that's this far ahead. He will do that to your backline, and it's so difficult to peel him off, especially when the rest of your team has just gone full send in the other direction. But that's why you have 2 carries, right? If your Corki ends up dying, at least you can hope the rest of your team is able to pull through. And this time around, it's just go full send. Nico, with the rest of his team, is able to play at that close range on the Gwen as you'd expect. And then because he finally got into his effective range, he's able to do quite a lot in that fight. But that all comes off the back of catching someone completely out where they should not be. That Seraphine just is not allowed to be there. The ults are then a bit more panicked, a bit less thought through, and a bit less effective as a result, and that's why that fight looked fine. A default fight here, a normal fight with maybe an Ash Flash not being used because Rel turned up, and we can start talking about Turbanato being back on top. But I mean, now that you got the Ash Flash because Rel existed for half a second, maybe we can talk once more. And 4v foil mid is quite dangerous.
Yeah, it will be Pior getting held on here for a moment. Seraphine going to come down.
Sultan?
With you. Sultan gets hit off the backside as it will be there for the moment. Trying to hold on. Garen split pushing bot lane. The hero of the team. Not quite in this fight, but it's not going to matter as Lacuna peels away. The dog will grab on to Rel here. See if they can get the Ferromancer down. As Cassante,
who just abandoned our ADC to the
Cassante. Look at Captain Rex. Oh my god, who cares about the Cassante fight? They're going down, sure, but look at Captain Rex here. He's going in on the base here. I always love giving credit to the low point players when they have these nice games. He does go for a very aggressive fight there, but you know what? Sometimes there's some respect and limit testing is what that was. As we'll see,
you call it limit testing? Here. I call it potentially throwing a one game.
Yeah, that definitely.
If he just pushes the Nexus,
now, as
they actually just win there.
Does mid-tier 3 doesn't even fall here. As we'll see Sultan. Okay, he's just going back for more Q pokes, but we'll wait and see here. The game does slow back down a little bit. Dragon in under a minute. Baron in about 90 seconds.
No flash Hui, no flash Ash. Very playable fights coming out for Luggage, right? This Drake, only the 3rd Drake for either side. This is an achievable team fight once more. Unfortunately, again, Huddock has been just completely run over. The Neferi and the Aaron can both just kill him whenever they want to. He needs uptime in these fights. He needs some way of getting these disgustingly aggressive champions off of him. It has to come down to Justin, who, in his own right, I understand it as the Rel. Like, he wants to be engaging, but sometimes the best form of engage is when you're actually peeling away the enemies from your ADC. I think they're going to need that type of sustained damage, and I'm not sure if Nico's going to be enough, especially when he's no TP and split pushing in the top lane, Drake spawning. They're not even going to contest. That makes sense. I like this more. I don't like the Captain Rex just did that, though.
Captain Rex is kind of balling here. He's going to 1v2 them. Maybe.
Whee!
Wow. He gets it. Hudok is here as well. We'll see if they can get the kill at least on Garen, but well played by Rex, right? I mean, again, makes the right play there, even if it's simple, even if he's playing a non-complicated character. He has to make the play here against some fantastic players. He goes for 3! He's gonna 1v4! Oh my god! Oh my god, the Ash arrow helps him out a little bit, obviously, but Captain Rex 1v4s as a 10-point player reigns supreme. I don't care if on paper Pior's impact is more valuable. He shut down Nico. He carried the mid game. That is a Captain Rex MVP for game 3 of the playoffs. And if you disagree, you can close the stream, which you can realistically do anything anyway because we're done for the day. But wow, what a game for Captain Rex there. 10 points. Obviously, well done to the other players, right? Botlane held their own. Sultan held his own. Pior did great. Held down the side of Nico. Obviously, well done to everybody there as they get that 2-1 lead at the end of day 1. But 13-2-1 on the Garen here. What a showing for the tier 4.
A massive game for Captain Rex. He shows up when his team needs him to, and that is one hell of a way to end off day 1. Bear in mind, Real Turbinators were not favored entering this game in particular, right? In terms of the series, absolutely, but they were down 32 points going into this game. They used a ton of perks to get this game over the line. Both Mute Deafens now out the window, the Steel Band and the 2+1 additional, but they still have so many more. And it feels like they're so incredibly well used to get this type of a victory over the line. I'm surprised they managed to get it, but this is huge.
That is an upset. That is an upset in SDC terms. Like, that is not a game you should lose for Luggage. But, I mean, again, it's a really good game. And by the end of the series, I wouldn't be surprised if we're left saying Game 3 was the real turning point in the series. You're down over 30 points and you get the win. And in a series like this, this could be the game that makes it from a 4-3 win for the side of Luggage to, like 4-1 now, 4-2 now for the side of the Turbinators. So, obviously, we'll have to wait and see how tomorrow goes, but I think that will be it for us today. Thank you, everybody, for joining the SDC Season 23. One more day in the books before we can call it closed for the season, as we wait to see who will be given the crown for the season between our 1 and 8 seeds heading into playoffs. But for everybody joining us today, thank you very much. We'll be sure to see you again tomorrow for the conclusion to Season 23. Thank you all for joining today. We'll see you again tomorrow.